Apocalypse mobile phone system. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 251 250 Artifacts. After looting 2 more households and killing a few zombies, Xiao Yao finally gathered 5 fire sticks. Fire hooks don't sound good, so I renamed them fire sticks, and then he couldn't wait to open the forging interface and choose to upgrade the forged fire stick. System: upgrading the forged fire stick requires 5 fire sticks and 10,000 gold. Do you want to upgrade the forging? Oh my god, 10,000 gold. Xiao Yao looked at the only 34,332 gold left in the backpack, and gritted his teeth. Upgrade. System: upgraded successfully, and got a refined fire stick +1. Backpack: refined fire stick, attack +250, combat power +250, damage to undead creatures +250%, and 25% burn damage to undead creatures, durability 250 out of 250. A series of 250 values made Xiao Yao dizzy. After upgrading and forging once, all attributes increased by 2.5 times, making this fire stick with all attributes of 100 become the current full attribute of 250. It might as well be renamed as a 250 artifact. Xiao Yao equipped with a delicate fire stick, the basic attack power has reached 448, plus the 250% bonus to undead creatures. The normal attack to zombies is 1,120 attacks. If there is a critical hit, it is 2,240 attacks. With the current lowest zombie health of 742, it is a sure kill. Xiao Yao suddenly realized that this was a bit of a waste of money. After all, the upgraded fire stick has only 250 durability, which means it can only kill 250 zombies. Xiao Yao now regretted embedding the spirit crystal in the survivor's helmet, because the durability of this crystal is 6,000. If it was embedded in the weapon, it could release whirlwind/infinitely, but now it has to worry about the durability of the weapon. However, this exquisite fire stick can be used when fighting high-life zombies. You can use ordinary fire sticks to fight ordinary zombies. It seems that I can only find a few more ordinary fire sticks. It's getting late, so I can only continue looking for fire sticks tomorrow. Xinru, let's go home and continue looking tomorrow. Yeah, okay. Xinru shook her butt left and right, her pants stuck to her butt. I've been sitting in the passenger seat all the way and haven't even moved my butt. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. For safety reasons, it's faster for me to act alone. I have to worry about your safety if I take you with me. Well, it's my fault that I'm a burden now. Didn't you agree that you would be responsible for being beautiful? Stop imagining things. Although that's one thing, but if I really don't do anything, I feel like a waste now. Don't say that. Only if you follow me can I have the energy to kill zombies. You are the auxiliary type, the kind who can buff me by sitting in the car. Pucci Xinru laughed when she saw Xiao Yao trying hard to make her happy. Okay, I know you are comforting me. I won't make a fuss. I'll just stay in the car honestly. Not causing trouble for you is the biggest help to you, right? Yes, but don't worry, honey. When I find equipment that can increase your health, you can equip it with me to kill zombies. Really? It's more real than gold. When have I ever broken my promise? But now your health is still too low. You can't go out and have fun. You have to stay calm, okay? Got it. Are we going back to our parents' home? Xinru looked at the direction Xiao Yao was driving in and it seemed a little familiar. This was the way home. Well, I came back to take a look. I seem to have forgotten something last time. What is it? The yard of my old home is open air. Logically, the chickens at home have already mutated, but the last time I went home, the yard was surprisingly quiet. I came back to see if the chickens at home were gone. Oh, that's right. Now that I think about it, it seems that there is no movement from them at all. Squeak. The SUV stopped at the door of the old home. Xiao Yao said to Xinru, you stay in the car first. I'll go down to explore the road. I'll come back to call you if there is no problem. Well, go ahead. I'm fine. Well. Xiao Yao nodded to Xinru, opened the door and got out of the car. He locked the car, not because he was afraid that Xinru would run away, but because he was afraid that a zombie would open the door. This would be more useful. Since he had the skill of unlocking, Xiao Yao hasn't used a key for a long time. He directly used a lockpick to open the door of his home. Swoosh! As soon as he pushed open the door, a gust of wind came towards him. Xiao Yao dodged to the side and took a closer look. At this time, a bald chicken fell on the ground, with only a long chicken feather stuck alone at the chicken's butt. He didn't know how this rooster flew over without hair. He could only barely tell from its big comb that it was a rooster. Cluck! The bald rooster kept scratching the ground with its claws, waiting for an opportunity to attack Xiao Yao. Reconnaissance, mutated rooster race, undead level. 11 combat power. 110 health. 689 1100. Xiao Yao rubbed his eyes. Am I seeing things? This chicken has such a high health. And why is the health of this mutant attack reduced by half? Cluck. The moment Xiao Yao rubbed his eyes, the bald rooster took a run up, then jumped, and pounced directly in the direction of Xiao Yao. Swish! Xiao Yao raised the exquisite fire stick and slapped it in the direction where the rooster flew. Caw! The fire stick hooked on the rooster's neck, and the rooster's neck snapped back 90 degrees as it flew over from the air, and the screaming stopped abruptly. System, minus 2240, huge critical damage appeared on the top of the mutant attack's head, Pata. The rooster's body fell from the air to the ground without a sound. Xiao Yao used the fire stick to pull it a few times, and the rooster was indeed dead. It seemed that the system had changed a lot. Under normal circumstances, the chicken would not die immediately. Even if its head was cut off, it could still jump around for a long time. Now that its health value was emptied, the chicken died immediately, which saved Xiao Yao a lot of trouble. Xiao Yao clicked on backpack, and was prompted to pick up a colorful tail feather just now. I don't know what it is. Backpack, colorful tail feather, agility plus 10, movement speed plus 10%, durability 666/666. A strange item, because this is directly the feather on the tail of the mutant rooster just now, but how to equip it? Is it stuck on your butt? This is totally unrealistic. Cluck! Cluck! After the mutant rooster died, more chicken calls appeared in the yard, but there was no shadow of the mutant chicken. Xiao Yao slowly walked towards the place where the sound came from. When he got closer, Xiao Yao found that the chickens in the chicken coop became irritable at this time. The reconnaissance information showed that these chickens in the cage were also mutant hens, but these mutant hens had hair on their bodies, unlike the mutant rooster just now, which only had one feather left, and the health of these mutant hens was full, but the health of these mutant hens was only 700, which was nearly half less than the mutant attack just now. Xiao Yao killed these mutant hens directly through the gap in the cage. After killing all the screaming mutant hens, the whole yard became quiet, and Xiao Yao returned to the SUV outside the door. Honey, I heard the sound of chickens. There are really chickens in the yard. Yes, and they are all mutated. There were no mutated chickens when I came here before, but I encountered them this time. Is it really because Duato's level is too high? These mutated chickens were suppressed and dared not act rashly. Now that Duato is gone, they dare to make a sound. It may be because of Duato. What other reasons could there be? This mutated rooster has lost all its feathers, but the other hens still have feathers. This makes me a little confused. If you can't figure it out, don't think about it. Anyway, you have killed them, right? What's the point of thinking about it again? It's getting late and it's dark. Shouldn't we rest early? Yes, I've been to too many places today and I'm really tired. I'll rest early and go directly to the city tomorrow. Aren't you going to continue collecting fire sticks? No, it will take more time to collect these things. Now the exquisite fire sticks after the upgrade are enough. The first thing to do is to find my sister. The rest can be discussed later. The two got out of the car and locked the door. Xiao Yao pulls en route to the north room. A figure flashed over the wall, making a sound of breaking wind. Xiao Yao turned back quickly, but didn't find anything. What's wrong? I felt something fly over. Really? Don't scare me. Xiao Yao quickly opened the small map. After the snowflakes on the small map flashed a few times, several marking points appeared. Xiao Yao looked and saw that there were only marks for himself and Xinru on the small map, and no other marks. It seems that I am too nervous. It's nothing. Let's go. I'm so hungry. I need to make a meal with Xiao Yao's unique secret recipe to fill my stomach. Great, I want to eat too. Chapter 252 Uninvited Guests. In the low farmhouse, The chimney was emitting a bulging smoke. After a while, an unusually delicious aroma floated out from the house. Well, it smells so good. Xiao sniffed hard. It must be, no matter who is doing it. Xiao Yao said while frying the spicy chicken. Since he learned this secret recipe from his father, the cooking procedure has automatically generated in his mind. At this time, the spicy chicken is almost out of the pot. After a while, the aroma was overflowing, and the whole house could no longer contain the aroma of spicy chicken. After all, this is spicy chicken with a 100-point delicious value. Xiao Yao said to Xiao, help me get a plate. Okay. Xiao jumped to the kitchen to find a plate. She was afraid that ordinary plates would not be able to hold the spicy chicken, so she specially found a large long plate for a fish. Is this okay? Sure, put it here. The spicy chicken was out of the pot, steaming hot, and with the light of the candle next to it, it looked a bit like a candlelight dinner. It smells so good, I can't wait. You must be hungry, eat quickly. Xiao Yao tore off a piece for each of them first. Yeah, it's delicious. After being together for a long time, Xinru no longer had the reserve of a school belle, and now she was like a country shrew, putting on airs, with one foot on the stool, eating meat with big mouthfuls. If she had a bowl of wine with it, she would be a real tomboy. Behind the glass of the windowsill outside the door, a shadow quietly watched the two people in the room eating chicken, and his saliva had already flowed to the windowsill. Although it would be more appetizing to have a glass of wine at this time, alcohol cannot be drunk, and it will not work without someone watching over the night. After a while, only a plate of chicken bones were left of the spicy chicken. Xiao Yao and Xinru both found a comfortable position to sit with their big bellies. Hubby, your cooking skills are getting better and better. Speak in full. Spicy chicken? What do you mean by spicy chicken? It sounds weird. Yes, fried spicy chicken. If I can eat spicy chicken every day, I'll be satisfied. You wish. I want to cook it for you once a day. You want me to be exhausted. If you want to eat it, I'll teach you, and then you can cook for me. Okay. Let's wait until tomorrow morning. I'm a little full today and don't want to move. You are originally a pig. Now your belly is so round that you look like Zubeiji. I am Zubeiji? Then are you Gao Kilin? Who is Gao Kilin? Have you never seen the scene where Zubeiji carries his wife on his back? That's Gao Kilin. Oh, is Gao Kilin beautiful? You know who Zubeiji is, right? He is the god who pursued change. If Zubeiji is interested in her, then Gao Kilin must look not much different from change. Just brag. Although I haven't read Journey to the West, I know that Zubeiji is a pervert and he likes girls. In my eyes, you are no worse than change. You are the only one who is so talkative. I really want to go out for a walk, look at the moonlight, and take a walk. I haven't gone out for a walk for a long time. Sure. How can I? There is thick fog outside now and there is no chance to go out. Do you remember the last time the thick fog disappeared? I remember, but it was only for one day. Do you mean, will the thick fog disappear again? Well, if my guess is correct, the thick fog will disappear once every 7 days. Then, I will accompany you to watch the stars for a whole night. Really? The thick fog disappears once every 7 days? Husband, do you remember how many days it will take for it to disappear? Today is the 11th day of the apocalypse. On the 8th day of the apocalypse, the thick fog disappeared for a day. According to this rule, the thick fog will disappear again in 4 days. 4 more days. It feels like a long time. It's only a few days, 4 days. Maybe we've found my sister. Then I'll accompany you to the top of the tallest building in the city to watch the stars and the moon. How about that? Okay, it's a deal. It's a deal. It's getting late. Go to bed early tonight. Tomorrow morning I'll teach you how to make spicy chicken, and then we'll set off for the city. Yeah, I'm sleepy too. Xinru yawned, and it seemed that she was also very sleepy. The two went to the Kang in the inner room. Perhaps because they were too tired, Xiao Yao did not lock the door. At this time, the shadow appeared on the windowsill again. Squeak, squeak. The door was gently pushed open a crack, and then a figure quickly came in. The target was the leftover chicken bones on the table. Unexpectedly, this figure was attracted by the delicious spicy chicken. Although very tired, Xiao Yao still heard the slight sound of the door opening. Xiao Yao quickly got up. Because he was too tired, he didn't even take off his clothes. At this time, Xiao Yao jumped off the kang and opened the door of the inner room. The door outside was open, and the thick fog had already poured into the outer room. Who? Sneaky, come out and fight if you have the guts. Xiao Yao quickly opened the small map, and saw a red dot on the small map quickly moving away. Soon, the small red dot was beyond the range of the small map. Sure enough, there's someone. Xiao Yao looked solemn. On the small map, the red dot moved away very quickly. If Xiao Yao hadn't opened the small map quickly, he wouldn't have discovered this uninvited guest this time. Xiao Yao quickly scanned the area. He didn't know much about his mother's kitchen, and now he didn't know what the uninvited guest had stolen. Is it a thief? It's definitely not a zombie. Zombies don't know how to escape. Could it be another alien like Wang Nan? Xiao Yao clenched his fists and went to the outer room quietly. This was difficult to deal with. He couldn't sleep well tonight. Husband, what's going on? Go back to the room. The outer room is now flooded with thick fog. Although the thick fog had already flooded into the outer room, Xiao Yao still locked the outer door from the inside. The uninvited guest was too fast, and Xiao Yao couldn't catch up even if he went out to chase him, so he simply didn't chase him. He returned to the inner room, locked the inner door, and sat on the kang. Honey, has someone broken in? Well, the opponent's speed is faster than the previous alien Wang Nan. I'm afraid he is here with bad intentions again. However, he ran away directly when he heard my shout, which shows that his combat power is not high. He is another guy with great speed. What should we do? The big net to catch Wang Nan has landed us in the driving school. Now we have nothing to catch. It doesn't matter. There's only one person on the other side. Don't worry too much. By the way, a flash of inspiration came to Xiao Yao, and he took out the nether claw from his backpack. This claw dropped when he killed the alien Wang Nan. At that time, because the attack power of this claw was too low, Xiao Yao had kept this claw in his backpack to gather dust. At this time, Xiao Yao had an idea. Xinru, I want to make a hook. Use this claw to make a hook. Hook the opponent, and see where he runs. Hook. Yes, just like the Spanish bullfighters, except that the bullfighters use ropes and I use hooks. I swing the hook 360 degrees. As long as he enters my range, I don't believe he can escape. Honey, your idea is good, but if you want to rotate 360 degrees, you may have to do it in a larger venue. You can't do it in a narrow space. I don't need a hook in a narrow space. Besides, the opponent is competing with speed. He doesn't dare to meet me head-on. Chapter 253 Uninvited Guests Appear. Xiao Yao searched the room and found only a not very thick rope and some tools. He chiseled a hole in the bone handle of the nether claw, passed the rope through it, and tied a knot. Xiao Yao waved it a few times, and it was a bit interesting. He didn't know if he could hook the enemy. But if he wanted to test it, he might need to go to a larger venue. It was late at night, and he could only wait until tomorrow to verify it. The visit of the uninvited guest made Xiao Yao alert again. During this period of time, without the threat of the alien Wang Nan, Xiao Yao became a little numb. Unexpectedly, after killing one Wang Nan, another Wang Nan appeared. Xiao Yao had no choice but to use the old method again. The inverted wine bottle warning method. Xiao Yao took out a box of Maote wine, and inverted the Maote wine behind the door outside, and then inverted some on the windowsill of the inner room and behind the door of the inner room. It is inevitable that I will fall asleep in the long night, and it should be much better with the inverted wine bottle warning. After doing all this, Xiao Yao lay on the kang, quietly looking out the window, and occasionally opened the small map to see that there were no other marks on the small map except himself and Xinru. Perhaps, this uninvited guest will not come tonight. The next day, Xiao Yao woke up from a nightmare. He dreamed that Xinru was captured by the uninvited guest. Xiao Yao quickly turned his head and saw that Xinru was facing away from him. She could hear her even breathing, and it seemed that Xinru was sleeping soundly. Xiao Yao wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. How could he have such a hateful dream? The hateful uninvited guest, killing zombies every day, killing zombies every day. Now he has to run into his dreams to disgust himself when he goes to bed at night. Hubby, you're awake? Yeah, I had a nightmare. I dreamed that you were taken away by an uninvited guest and left me. I was scared to death. How could that be? Don't worry, husband, I will never leave you. Xiao Yao enchanted Xinru's hair. I can't live without you now, you can't leave quietly. Yes, husband, I know, I won't leave quietly. Even if I leave, I will leave in a big way. Are you satisfied with this? Fuck me, I have a bad temper. I will punish you with family rules. No. Morning is the time when volcanoes are prone to eruption, not to mention that someone threw a gas tank into the crater. It's like looking for shit with a lantern in the toilet. Bang! The sound of a broken bottle came from outside the house. Who? Xiao Yao quickly checked the small map, and a small red dot quickly moved away. It's this guy again. He didn't come all night, and he comes early in the morning to ruin my plans. Husband, don't be angry. The other party ran away when frightened. It seems that he is not a powerful character. That's what it is, but it's annoying. In a fair fight, the life and death depends entirely on strength. What I hate most in games is assassins, who are evasive. I didn't expect that I would encounter such agile enemies in real life. It's really infuriating. For now, it seems that the other party has not caused any damage, so don't worry about him. You said you would teach me how to make spicy chicken. I'm hungry. Teach me quickly. But there is thick fog outside. It seems that I can't use the stove to make spicy chicken today. I can only use the gas stove. I move the gas stove into the house. Wait for me. Xiao Yao came to the outer room and used the firewood from the stove to cook spicy chicken last night. Because spicy chicken cooked with firewood is the most delicious, Xiao Yao moved the gas stove and gas tank into the house. He couldn't stay in the outer room. Although the fog was not much, it was still poisoning. Xiao Yao also moved the pots and pans to the inner room. He glanced at the small map again, and the little red dot did not appear. It seemed to have disappeared again. Xiao Yao glanced at the door outside. Got it. Xiao Yao found a rope, fixed one end to the top of the door, tied a bottle of Mayotte wine at the other end, and set up a small automatic door closing device through a nail on the wall. Since the other party dared to come for the second time, he would definitely come for the third time. Although the automatic door closing setting is very simple, it will more or less delay the other party's time to open the door. With the addition of the netherhook lock, maybe he can catch the other party. The netherhook lock is the name Xiao Yao gave himself after combining the equipment. Netherworld hook, plus 25 attack, plus 25 combat power, 9 meters attack distance, 100/100 durability. Perhaps because Xiao Yao tied the rope, the durability of the Netherworld Claw of 1000 was only 100, a 0 was missing. After setting up the small mechanism, in order to prevent alerting the enemy, Xiao Yao put all the inverted liquor back into the backpack, then returned to the inner room and began to explain to Yuzinaru how to make spicy chicken. Xiao Yao was just explaining on the side. This time, Yuzinaru cooked it according to Xiao Yao's method. Because opening the small map costs money continuously, Xiao Yao only opens it when he needs it. Now, for early warning, Xiao Yao has been opening the small map. Most of the time, Xinru cooks it herself. Xiao Yao occasionally gives a few words. At this time, Xiao Yao's energy is mostly focused on the information on the small map. Here it comes. Xiao Yao always pays attention to the small map. At this time, a small red dot appears within the range of the small map and slowly approaches here. What's coming? SHH. The uninvited guest is here, just continue to fry the spicy chicken and ignore me. Oh, okay. Yizunru was frying the spicy chicken nervously. Xiao Yao was hiding by the wall on tiptoe, holding a delicate fire stick in his left hand and a netherhook lock in his right hand. This time he was determined to keep the uninvited guest and treat him to a meal of spicy chicken. Squeak, squeak. Because the outer door had a small automatic door closing device, it was a bit slow to open the door at this time. Seeing the little red dot enter the outer room, Xiao Yao quickly opened the door of the inner room and threw the netherhook lock directly in the direction of the door. Thief, where are you running? Meow. This. Xiao Yao's netherhook lock smashed against the wall and fell down. Xiao Yao was stunned for a moment. This thief is actually a black cat. Meow. The black cat grabbed the stainless steel door in panic and slapped it with one claw, leaving a big hole in the stainless steel door. Investigation? Question mark? Xiao Yao was embarrassed now. He didn't know whether to leave or stay. It was fine to have a dog whose rank was unclear, but now there was a cat whose rank was unclear. Xiao Yao didn't dare to move. He was afraid that the black cat in front of him would give him a claw and he would be reborn. Xiao Yao really wanted to slap himself. He set up some small mechanism to automatically close the door, but the door was scratched by the black cat in front of him. Meow. What a cute cat. I don't know when. Xinru's voice appeared behind him. Xinru, go back. Xiao Yao was nervous. The other cat was a cat of unknown level. It was not clear whether it was a friend or an enemy. He did not know whether he should retreat or open the door for the black cat in front of him. Xinru came out to make trouble. What's wrong? It's just a kitten. Why are you so nervous? Come, kitten, sister has delicious food here. Xinru picked up a piece of spicy chicken with chopsticks and threw it on the ground, motioning the black cat to come and eat. Meow. At this time, the black cat suddenly became quiet, staring at the spicy chicken on the ground, looking up at Xiao Yao, but did not come to eat. This. Xiao Yao's forehead was dripping with cold sweat, sliding on his clothes. This was an enemy of unknown level. Xinru, you are really careless. However, the black cat did not scratch the door at this time. Seeing that the black cat smashed the aluminum alloy door with one claw, Xiao Yao's heart sank. If the claw scratched him, he would definitely be a bloody mess. Seeing that the black cat seemed to like the spicy chicken on the ground, Xiao Yao slowly stepped back a few steps. The black cat noticed Xiao Yao took a few steps back, quietly approached the spicy chicken on the ground, sniffed it, then bit it and went out through the hole in the door. The small map showed that a red dot moved away quickly and quickly exceeded the range of the small map. The uninvited guest turned out to be a cat, which made Xiao Yao shocked and scared. What shocked him was that this black cat was not a mutant, because the eyes of this black cat were black, not white or red, and the fur on its body was also black and shiny. It was definitely a cute little black cat. It was no wonder that Xinru was flooded with love letters. What she was afraid of was that the opponent's level exceeded the upper limit of the reconnaissance skill, and it was impossible to determine whether it was an enemy or a friend. Chapter 254 Heading to the City. Huh? Xiao Yao breathed a sigh of relief as he watched the black cat crawl out of the hole in the door. Is level suppression fun? A few days ago it was a dog, and now there's a cat. Are you going to let me live? Level, my level is too low, and I have to act like a grandson everywhere. No, I want to upgrade to the top level first. What's wrong, husband? Why are you sweating all over? Is this little cat scary? Wife, I think you are really careless. Don't be fooled by its appearance. This is a monster over level 30. No, I feel that the other party is just an ordinary little cat. Ordinary? How can a cat that can survive in the thick fog outside for so long without mutation be ordinary? A cat that scratched this door with one claw, you say ordinary? No, weren't the two ugly soldiers we met yesterday fine in the thick fog? It's nothing for a cat to be immune to the virus of the thick fog. After all, cats are creatures with 9 lives. Maybe this kind of childish thick fog has no effect on it at all. I hope so. But the opponent's level is too high. This is true. Don't follow me out secretly next time. Look at that door. It was scratched by the black cat with one claw. Don't make trouble next time. I know, husband, I'm fine. Go back to the house and eat. Xiao Yao angrily pushed open the door of the inner room. The spicy chicken was already ready, but Xiao Yao had no appetite. It was not that Xinru's cooking was not delicious. The information in his field of vision also indicated that it had a delicious value of 50. Although it was a little worse than what he made, it was the first time he made it, so at least it didn't turn into charcoal. Last night's nightmare was that Xinru was taken away by an uninvited guest. The uninvited guest turned out to be a black cat. It seemed to be a nightmare. Meow. A cat's cry came, and Xiao Yao glanced at the small map. A small red dot was already outside the door. Xiao Yao quickly opened the door and saw the black cat sitting at the door, looking very well behaved, with its tail wagging from time to time. Meow. Little cat, do you want to eat spicy chicken again? Come, sister has some more. Xinru threw another piece of spicy chicken on the ground. The black cat passed Xiao Yao and crawled through his crotch, eating the spicy chicken on the ground. This time, the black cat did not run away with a piece of meat in its mouth, but started eating under the table. Xiao Yao closed the door. He didn't know where he got the courage from just now, but opened the door directly. Xiao Yao was afraid that the cat would raise its paw to the door again, and then the only remaining safe zone would disappear. Xiao Yao sat quietly on the side and carefully observed the black cat. He found that its habits were really the same as those of ordinary cats. Could it be that the other party was really an ordinary cat? Was there something wrong with the detection glasses? Thinking of the black cat smashing the aluminum alloy door with one paw, Xiao Yao shook his head. This must not be an ordinary cat. After eating a few pieces of spicy chicken, the black cat had completely let go. At this moment, Xiao Yao had cold sweat dripping down his temples. The black cat in front of him was now held in Yizinru's arms. After eating a few pieces of spicy chicken, the black cat had fallen asleep. Xinru, you are playing with fire. This is a monster over level 30. I think it's very cute. You see, as long as you feed it spicy chicken, it will be very well behaved. Now it looks like a very cute little kitten. Just let me keep it. No, it's an uninvited guest of unknown origin. We don't know anything about it. It's the time bomb. Husband, please, we've been killing zombies all the way. It's too boring sitting in the car. Just let it stay with me. It's so well behaved now. Maybe it can help us when we are in danger. I'll be lucky if it doesn't cause trouble. I'm still counting on it to help us. If it does, I can't beat it at all. Then husband, just work hard and try to beat it as soon as possible. If you can't even beat a cat, it's so embarrassing to say you don't want to go. Xiao Yao looked at the black cat at this time, turned around, changed its posture and continued to sleep, and didn't know what to say for a while. Hubby, don't worry. You said it's very high level. If it wants to deal with us, it would have done it long ago. Let's not worry about trivial matters. Xiao Yao put his raised hand down again. Yes, the opponent's level is so high. To deal with him, there is no need for any conspiracy. What's the point of worrying so much? Xiao Yao clenched his fists. He must awaken as soon as possible. The time for the 15th level card is too long. He glanced at the progress of the task. He has killed 321 zombies. There are still 678 zombies to go. There are not so many people in the village in total, and there were not many zombies yesterday. Where did the people in the village go? It's really strange. It seems that we can only go to the next place. Let's go to the city. I need money, a lot of money. I want to rob the bank. I want to rob all the banks in the entire Xiaoyang city. Okay, I'll listen to you. Yizinru responded obediently. Xiao Yao was speechless for a while. I told you not to keep the black cat, so why didn't you listen? However, looking at the black cat still sleeping at this time, Xiao Yao didn't have the courage to wake it up. He went out angrily and got on the off-road vehicle. After Yizinru got on the car with the black cat, Xiao Yao started the off-road vehicle and drove directly to the main road in the middle of the village, driving all the way to the east. There was a long slope to the east. Xiao Yao stepped on the accelerator and rushed directly to the top of the slope. There was a driving school to the south. Xiao Yao glanced at it and skipped it directly. He continued to drive east and saw a winding mountain road heading north. That was where my parents were staying at the moment, the mountain keeper's courtyard. Xiao Yao, do you want to go back once? No, save time and find my sister as soon as possible. Xiao Yao drove directly to the path leading to the road without turning. In the mountain guard's courtyard on the top of the mountain, in the hut, Xiao Yao and Liang Xiao had already gotten up. Xiao Yao was making breakfast, which was spicy chicken. Because the chicken could not be preserved for a few days, they could only eat the chicken first. The rice and flour could be kept for a few more days, and these would be eaten in the next few days. Dad, it looks like the chicken can only be kept for a few days, and our rice and flour can't last for a few days either. I'm afraid we won't be able to wait for Xiao Yao to come back. Alice, we can only take it one step at a time. If it doesn't work, we can go to the cemetery below to see if there's anything to eat, or go back to the driving school or the village. It's not very far anyway. Didn't Xiao Yao say that we can't be outside for more than 10 minutes? In 10 minutes, we can't get home. It's okay, I've calculated that on our way home, there are just a few families living in the wild. We can hide from these families then. Are you talking about those illegal households in our village? Well, they are the illegal residents who dare not live in the village. If you say so, it's really possible. Okay, eat quickly, and clean up here after eating. It's a mess, and there's no place to stay. After eating and drinking, Xiao Yao and Liang Xiao rolled up their sleeves and began to move the mineral water chicken and red ginseng soup in the house. Dad, move this stone pillar away, so that a lot of space can be freed up. It's too heavy, I can't move it, Xiao said, pointing to a stone pillar next to the front table. I don't know where this old lady who watches the mountain got the strength to put 2 stone pillars in the house. Hey, look at me. Xiao Yao spit 2 mouthfuls of saliva on his palm and leaned over to hug the stone pillar. Well, after a while of effort, the stone pillar didn't move at all. Hey, his father, when he was young, he could carry 300 kilograms of grain, but now he can't even carry a stone pillar. You can't refuse to admit that you are getting old. Something is wrong. Why does this stone pillar feel connected to this mountain? Even if it can't be moved, it should be at least possible. His father, what's wrong? There's something strange about this stone pillar. Xiao Yao turned around the stone pillar, and then picked up another stone pillar to try, but he was still unable to move it. This is strange. Why is this stone pillar so heavy? Even if I'm old, I shouldn't be so weak. His father, according to what you said, there's indeed something strange. Why don't we dig up the soil next to it and see what's going on? Xiao is still smart. Wait for me. I'll go get the shovel. Xiao Yao came back with a shovel and began to dig the soil next to the stone pillar. He dug 1 meter deep, and there was actually a pillar connected to the bottom of the stone pillar. This stone pillar was not a stone pillar, but the top of a pillar. There were even some carved patterns on the pillar. Chapter 255 Escape to the women's restroom. Duang, duang, duang. A series of powerful digging sounds came from the deep pit of the thatched house, and each one struck the soul directly. Now they have dug 3 meters underground, but they still haven't dug to the bottom of the stone pillar next to them. How long is this stone pillar? Xiao Yao and Xiao also became very curious. The patterns carved on the stone pillar gradually became clear. There were no dragons or phoenixes on the stone pillar. There were countless strange animals carved on the stone pillar. At least, with Xiao Yao's experience, he had never seen these animals. Xiao Yao put down his tools, pulled a rope next to him, stepped on the depression carved next to the pit, and climbed out. Dad, you must be tired, drink some water. Xiao Yao unscrewed the bottle cap and drank. We have dug 3 meters, but we still haven't reached the bottom of the stone pillar. Still digging. Dig, we must dig to the bottom of the stone pillar today. Dad, why don't we stop digging? My heart is beating so fast, and I always feel that if I continue digging, something bad will happen. Xiao touched his chest, which was beating very fast. Xiao, are you okay? Xiao Yao supported Xiao's arm. His father, stop digging. I'm afraid that something bad will come out if we dig down there. Then I'll listen to you and stop digging. It's such a deep pit, and the oxygen down there can't support me digging a few times. Let's wait until Xiao comes back. This stone pillar doesn't look like it's from modern civilization. Look at the animals on this stone pillar, they're all weird and strange, and I've never seen them before. His father, let's fill this pit. It's not convenient to leave such a big pit in the house, and the pile of soil next to it is too much of a nuisance. How can we fill up the pit that we dug with great difficulty? Wouldn't it be in vain? How about this, just pile all the mineral water in this pit, so we don't have to fill it up again, and we can fill the pit and free up more space. Okay then, let's do as you say and put the mineral water in it. After a short rest, the two of them moved all the mineral water in the house to the pit, filled the pit, and repaved the ground with the excavated soil. Because the original ground was uneven and there were many sunken places, the ground was leveled and the mineral water was moved to the pit. The whole room seemed much wider. The only drawback was that the light was too dim. On the other side, Xiao Yao drove the off-road vehicle and drove to the highway. There was surprisingly no traffic jam on the highway. Although there were occasionally broken down cars on the road, the emergency lane was still unobstructed. However, Xiao Yao had already hit several zombies at this time, which was the end of the world. If it were peacetime, he would definitely be fined and deducted points. Squeak. Xiao Yao braked suddenly. There was no road ahead. It wasn't that there was no road, but it was blocked by cars. There was a crossroads ahead. The right side led to the highway, the left side led directly to the new urban area, and the south side led directly to the old urban area. However, this crossroads, which was usually very smooth, was now full of cars. It can be imagined that people were desperately running away before the end of the world, and they didn't care about the traffic lights at all. However, it was precisely because they didn't care about the traffic lights that no one could leave. Roar. 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 The sound of zombies came from the crossroads ahead. They must have been attracted by the sound of Xiao Yao's brakes just now. Xiao Yao quickly turned 180 degrees, walked back, and looked for a new way. Bang! A loud noise came from the left side of the front of the off-road vehicle. The window glass of the off-road vehicle was shattered, and black smoke came out from under the engine hood in front of the vehicle. The vehicle quickly shifted to the left, and Xiao Yao instantly lost control of the vehicle. Honey, the tire is flat. Ah. Flat. Hold the steering wheel tight, or the car will flip over. Xiao Yao wanted to turn the steering wheel quickly to the right, but he still listened to the old driver Yizinaru and held the steering wheel tightly. Xiao Yao held the steering wheel tightly at this moment. Bang! The SUV hit a stranded car on the side of the road and finally stopped. Oh no, the car is going to explode, get out quickly. Xiao Yao saw that the black smoke from the front of the car was getting thicker and thicker, and it was about to explode. He quickly helped Yizinaru unbuckle her seat belt, then unbuckled his seat belt, opened the door and got out of the car. Zinru also got out of the car quickly. The black cat jumped out of the car like a ghost at the moment the door was opened, and then quickly disappeared into the thick fog, and no one knew where he went. Zinru, this way. Xiao Yao got out of the car and glanced at the front of the SUV. He saw that there was a big hole in the tire on the left side of the SUV, and the rubber inside had turned outward. It seemed that something sharp had been pressed, causing the tire to burst. There was a toll sign on the road ahead, which read 92.95. It looked like there was a gas station next to it. This way. Xiao Yao pulled Zinru to the gas station next to him. There was no other way. He couldn't fight zombies in the wild. He had to at least find a place to hide. After all, Xiao Yao couldn't use his ultimate skills as he did before. Xiao Yao pulled Zinru and ran quickly to the gas station. There were several cars parked in the gas station at this time. Several figures were swaying back and forth. When they saw Xiao Yao coming, they quickly moved towards this side. It's in front. Xiao Yao saw a row of houses in front of him and rushed directly to the nearest room. Toilet. Forget it, it's just a toilet. It's just a house after all. There's no time to look for it. Squeak. The toilet door opened in both directions. Xiao Yao pushed it open directly, then locked it from the inside, and then used the mop next to it to hold the door handle. On the left was the women's toilet, and on the right was the men's toilet. Xiao Yao directly pulled Zinru to the men's toilet. The place was very small, with only 2 urinals and 2 square toilets next to it. Xiao Yao pushed open the door of the single room, and there was no one there. Then he ran to the women's toilet, but there was no one there either. Huh? Let's hide here first. It stinks. Zinru said, pinching her nose. It looked like someone had urinated and defecated before and didn't flush the toilet. It had fermented for so long that it already smelled like urea, which was comparable to the thick fog outside. If it weren't for the fact that the vision display did not superimpose the poisoning state, Xiao Yao would have thought that there was thick fog in the toilet. There's no other way. Let's hide first. There should be a convenience store next to the gas station. When there's no danger, we can go to the convenience store. There might be a lot of food there. That's the only way. Roar. 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 The zombies' voices were getting closer and closer, and now they felt like they were right in front of them. Help. A cry for help came from outside. There's actually someone. The sudden cry for help shocked Xiao Yao. There were actually survivors at this time. Honey, should we go and rescue them? The skills I used in school can no longer be used. My weapon's durability is too low. I have no way to deal with the hordes of zombies. I can't help them. Xiao Yao bought 2 bottles of red ginseng soup and handed one to Zinru. Refill your health first. Ah. A heart-wrenching cry came from a man. There are still men? There are many survivors here. The one who shouted for help just now was a woman, and now the one who screamed happily is a man. Could there be survivors in the convenience store next door? Yes, only in a supermarket can there be so many survivors. Honey, are we really not going to save them? It's not that I don't want to save them, it's just that I can't save them now. By the way, where's the black cat? It ran away when I got off the car, and I don't know where it went. Forget it, let it run away. I don't expect it to take the initiative to help kill zombies. Xiao Yao opened the small map and saw that at this time, there were no other marks around him and Zinru on the small map, because the range of the small map was only 3 meters, which was very useless. The zombies were within 3 meters, and they could be seen with the eyes. Is the small map still needed? Hearing the cries and calls for help from next door, Xiao Yao leaned against the south wall. The moment Xiao Yao leaned over, several marked points appeared on the small map, several red points, all on the other side of the wall. Xiao Yao counted them and found that there were 5 small red points. However, Xiao Yao could not be sure whether these red points were survivors or zombies. Chapter 256 Key Rin Arm Zombie. Xiao Yao was paying attention to the small map. At this moment, a very deep and powerful sound came from not far away. Boom, boom, boom. Each sound shook the whole room, and the dust and gravel on the top of the wall fell down with a vibration. Hubby, I'm scared. Don't be afraid, I'm here. Xiao Yao hugged Yizhenru and comforted her. The sound continued, and the sound was getting closer and closer, one after another rhythmically. In the thick fog outside the gas station, a zombie that almost walked on its hands appeared from nowhere, like an unevolved gorilla. Its abnormally huge unicorn arm could smash a big hole every time it landed. The zombies that were blind and blocked the way were also punched away by this mutant unicorn arm zombie. This was a zombie that didn't distinguish between friend and foe. When it got ruthless, it even killed its own people. The roars of the zombies and the screams of the survivors suddenly stopped at this time, as if they had never appeared. What's going on? Why is it so quiet all of a sudden? Yizhenru looked up and said. I don't know, don't make a sound. Xiao Yao kept an eye on the small map. At this time, he could still see a few red dots on the wall. That is to say, they were still there, but he was not sure whether they were zombies or humans. Bang! There was a loud noise, as if something had exploded. Ah! Xiao Yao, who was lying on the wall, was startled by the screams from the next door. Then Xiao Yao found that the red dots next door had gathered in the corner of the wall. Is this a survivor? Bang! Another loud noise came, and the whole house was shaken out of cracks. The wall between the house and the next door also had a long crack. The crack was like lightning, from top to bottom, and stopped at about the height of a calf. Xiao Yao leaned over and saw that there was a thumb-sized hole at the height of the calf. Xiao Yao lay on the ground and looked at the next door through the hole. At this time, a circular picture appeared in Xiao Yao's field of vision. On the other side of the circular hole was a small room, facing a security door. The red dots on the small map gathered in the right corner of the wall. Xiao Yao could not find them from this small circular hole at all. Bang! Another loud noise came, and the security door in front of the field of vision was smashed by a huge force and a bulge appeared. Bang! The security door finally couldn't bear the weight, and the whole door was knocked down. The security door fell to the ground, breaking several floor tiles. Ah! Help! The cries and calls for help were endless. At this time, Xiao Yao widened his eyes and looked at the round hole in horror. The security door was smashed open, and a zombie with an abnormally strange body appeared at the door. The right arm of this zombie was abnormally thick, as thick as an elephant's leg. It might be because the unicorn arm was too heavy, and the body of the zombie was bent like a hunchbacked old man. The arm became the third leg and could support the ground directly. Except for the arm, the rest of the zombie's body was normal. It was unknown how the other party's thin body swung the unicorn arm. The unicorn arm zombie walked into the room, clenched his right fist, shouted angrily, and punched the wall next to him, instantly smashing a big hole in the wall. The gap spread across the wall like a spider web. So strong, Xiao Yao muttered. This was a zombie with a unicorn arm. Although the rest of the body was normal, the zombie's arm was too big. The bulging biceps and triceps showed the opponent's explosive strength. Help! The cry for help continued. Ah! Then the sound stopped abruptly. The zombie with the unicorn arm grabbed the noisy female survivor and broke her neck. Then he bit off her head and started eating it with a crunch. The neck of the survivor whose head was bitten off was like a fountain, spurting out red fluid all over the zombie with the unicorn arm, turning him into a red zombie, like a devil from hell. The zombie with the unicorn arm crunched a few times and then suddenly stopped. The flesh and blood that he had eaten was directly spit out by the zombie with the unicorn arm. Maybe it was because he had applied too much makeup and it didn't taste good. Then the unicorn arm scratched the survivor's chest, took out a still beating heart, swallowed it in one gulp, and then threw the body out. The headless female survivor was thrown against the wall like a puppet. The fountain-like arteries slowly turned into flows, and soon the entire ground was covered with red carpet. Roar! The zombie roared angrily at this side. Saliva, thick phlegm, minced meat, pus and blood gushed out of the zombie's mouth like rain. Pa! A mouthful of thick phlegm blocked Xiao Yao's small round hole. Now he couldn't see what was happening on the other side. There were still 4 survivors in the corner. At this time, a foul smell came out of the whole corner. If someone looked down, they would find that the crotches of these people were soaked, and now they were shitting and urinating. They even forgot to scream and shout. They were sweating all over, waiting for the harvest of the hell devil in front of them. Huh? Xiao Yao slumped against the wall. The opponent was a level 15 zombie. Yes, level 15. This zombie was at the same level as himself. According to the normal process, the lowest zombie now was level 12, while the zombie on the opposite side was level 15. Its combat power reached a terrifying 1000, and its health value also reached a terrifying 2000. Since his rebirth, Xiao Yao had always been dealing with zombies of a lower level than himself. Now, a zombie of the same level as himself suddenly appeared, and its combat power and health value far exceeded his own. Looking at the opponent's unicorn arm, Xiao Yao was a little scared. If the opponent punched him, he would definitely be killed in seconds, and he would even be smashed into pulp. His leveling was too slow. The zombies could level up by 1 every day almost without moving. How long had he not leveled up? He used to want to find a place to hide, waiting for rescue and waiting for the end of the doomsday. Seeing the zombie opposite, Xiao Yao suddenly felt that he was too stupid. He didn't develop quickly in the early stage, hiding here and there, waiting for the zombies to become stronger and kill him directly? What have he been doing during this period? Husband. Yi Xinru next to him grabbed Xiao Yao's arm, and was shaking with fear at this time. Xiao Yao held Yi Xinru's hand and signaled her not to be afraid. Don't make a sound. After a while, the next door became quiet. Xiao Yao quietly lay on the small round hole. Although the small round hole was blocked by a mouthful of thick phlegm, Xiao Yao still laid down with an attitude of giving it a try. The thick phlegm blocking the small hole disappeared. It seemed that it fell down due to gravity. At this time, the next door was empty. The unicorn-armed zombie should have left. Xiao Yao breathed a sigh of relief. He looked like a complete deserter. As for not saving the survivor next door, Xiao Yao felt nothing in his heart. He was not a savior and had no obligation to save people. Xiao Yao was more worried about Yi Xinru's safety. If he went to save the survivor next door and Yi Xinru was attacked, he would regret it 10,000 times. Roar. The roar of the zombie came from next door. Xiao Yao quickly laid down. Could it be that the unicorn-armed zombie is back again? Many zombies appeared in the field of vision, appearing in the room one after another. Soon the whole room was crowded with zombies. The bodies of the survivors killed by the kill-and-arm zombies were now scattered in the room. The zombies that squeezed and were gnawing on the corpses excitedly. The heart of each survivor who was killed was dug out. The kill-and-arm zombie only ate the hearts of the survivors. As for the flesh and blood, it seemed that it no longer interested him. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257 Escape from the Gas Station. Xiao Yao leaned against the wall, listening to the zombies next door snatching the bodies of the survivors and chewing their flesh and blood. He felt guilty. Yes, he felt guilty. Strictly speaking, he killed them. If he hadn't attracted the zombies at the crossroads, the survivors who relied on the gas station and convenience store might not have died. If he was strong enough, he wouldn't have to hide. He didn't make good use of the past 12 days. If he had upgraded well, if he had awakened now, he might not have to be afraid of the unicorn-armed zombie just now. He might have saved 5 survivors. These 5 survivors can be said to be killed by him indirectly. Husband. Seeing Xiao Yao didn't move for a long time, with a decadent look on his face, Yi Xinru shook Xiao Yao's arm. Xinru, tell me, am I useless and can only bully weak zombies? When I meet a stronger one, I hide like a dog and indirectly kill 5 survivors. Husband, stop imagining it. We are weak now, and this is a fact that cannot be changed, but what we can change is the future. We should start to become stronger now and try to save more survivors to make up for the mistake we made this time. Well, upgrade. I must upgrade as soon as possible. This time, 5 survivors were indirectly killed because of me. I want to save them 10 times or 100 times. That's right, husband. Decadence cannot solve any problems. Picking up weapons and fighting is the correct way to deal with the future. Thank you, Xinru. I've decided. Even if I am labeled a public enemy, I will save people and save more people. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for the continuation of mankind, for the hope of mankind, and more importantly, to have a clear conscience. Come on. Come on. Xiao Yao glanced at his small map. At this time, the next door was already densely packed with small red dots. There was no need to guess, it must be zombies. Xiao Yao switched to backpack. There were already 130 inferior blood essences. This small map was too useful. It only had a range of 3 meters and was completely useless. It had to be upgraded once. System, to upgrade the Littleby unmanned reconnaissance aircraft, 100 inferior blood essences were needed. Do you want to consume them? Yes. System, the upgrade was successful. The Littleby unmanned reconnaissance aircraft was upgraded to 2 stars. After turning on the small map function, Xiao Yao found that 2 Littleby unmanned reconnaissance aircraft flew out of his wristband. Unexpectedly, this upgrade was not directly upgraded on the original basis, but directly added a Littleby unmanned reconnaissance aircraft. Xiao Yao looked up and saw 2 Littleby unmanned reconnaissance aircraft hovering above his head. Moreover, this time they were not hovering, but the 2 were rotating counterclockwise. Xiao Yao checked the skills. Littleby reconnaissance, it can identify biological information within a radius of 4 meters, and the money consumption is 2/second. Open. The snowflake screen of the small map flashed by, and then a larger range of information appeared. At the same time, there was a pointer like a clock hand rotating clockwise, like a radar scan. The current detection range has become a radius of 4 meters. Although Xiao Yao was a little strange, why could the Littleby unmanned reconnaissance aircraft detect the signal inside through a wall? Maybe this is a new type of technological energy. It was just a short curiosity, and Xiao Yao no longer paid attention to it. Xiao Yao is now paying attention to the number of zombies in the next room. At this time, the entire next room is densely packed with small red dots, which means that it is full of zombies. Bang! 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 Xiao Yao too, who was paying attention to the small map, was suddenly startled by the knocking sound. Xiao Yao quickly left the women's restroom. At this time, there were crowds of people outside the door of the restroom. Although the glass door was frosted, a group of people could be seen at the door. It's bad, the zombies must have smelled the scent of him and Xinru. Although the smell of the toilet was very strong, it was difficult to cover up the human scent on their bodies. At this time, these zombies were just slapping the toilet door by instinct. If they saw him inside, they would probably rush in at all costs. Xiao Yao was not afraid of ordinary zombies. What Xiao Yao was afraid of was where the unicorn-armed zombie was at this time. Xinru, wait for me here. I'll go to the door to check. Yes. Xiao Yao quietly touched the door. The small map showed that the entire toilet door was surrounded by zombies. It was a dense red area. There were too many small red dots gathered together. The entire small map showed that the outside of the door was red. If the ultimate move could be released infinitely, Xiao Yao would have opened the door and slaughtered the zombies long ago, but now there was no weapon with enough durability on hand. Xiao Yao did not dare to open the door. This was no different from sending himself to death. Anxious Xiao Yao went through the men's and women's restrooms. There was nothing in the restroom except a few mops. Xiao Yao had no choice but to check his backpack again. Apart from mayote liquor, there was almost nothing useful. Was he going to use mayote liquor again? The restroom was a little higher than the ground outside. There was a slight gap under the frosted glass door. If it dried up, even if it was useless, he could just find another way to rush out. However, the low-profile version of the Thunderbolt Whirlwind Slash that day had not been used in actual combat. Xiao Yao was unsure. He would use mayote liquor to burn these zombies first. Xiao Yao did it right away. He took out the mayote liquor and called Xinru from the women's restroom to help unpack it. Then Xiao Yao poured the mayote liquor under the door. Fortunately, the toilet was located at a higher level. If the terrain was the same, wouldn't a mayote liquor flow into the house? He poured 12 bottles in a row, and 24,000 yuan was just poured out. At this time, Xiao Yao didn't feel any pain. After all, any money was meaningless in front of life. Xinru, Step back. Xiao Yao saw that it was almost time and prepared to light the fire. He didn't know how big the fire was, so it was better to stay away from it. After Xinru retreated to the women's restroom, she only showed her face and looked at this side quietly. Xiao Yao took out his lighter and lit the package that had been soaked for a long time. The package instantly ignited, and then Xiao Yao threw it on the crack of the door. The strong liquor was instantly ignited by the flames. The whole group of zombies at the door was suddenly wrapped in a sea of flames. Because the flames were ignited from the feet, the flames rubbed up along the zombies' bodies and burned. There were too many zombies surrounding the door of the restroom. At this time, the flames spread among the zombies like an infection. Some unlucky zombies accidentally fell to the ground, their bodies were covered with liquor, and then their whole bodies were like a huge fireball, and they couldn't see their appearance at all. There were too many zombies, and the fallen zombies never had a chance to get up again, and were trampled under the feet of countless zombies. It was unknown whether they were burned to death or trampled to death. Several zombies were swaying like headless flies, like moving fireballs, and suddenly hit the gas station's gas station, and then fell down. At the moment of falling down, both hands still grabbed the gas gun's tube. The rubber tube could not withstand the baking of the fire and slowly softened. Then, like firecrackers, the whole tube made a crackling sound. The control switch of the gas gun was directly blown open at this time. The gasoline in the tube was like running water, spraying out without money. The moment it came into contact with the flame, it directly formed a fire dragon, which directly sprayed several zombies next to it into black charcoal. After that, the charcoal-like corpses were also sprayed into dust, leaving only the bones on the ground being slowly roasted. Bang! A huge explosion sounded, and the gas station exploded. The explosives with gasoline were scattered everywhere like flowers scattered by the sky, hitting the cars and gas stations next to it, and then ignited the cars and gas stations parked next door. There was a huge explosion, and the aftermath of the explosion directly shattered the glass door at the entrance of the toilet. Only then did Xiao Yao see the situation outside. There was a sea of burning zombies outside the toilet. Looking around, most of the zombies were only left with a little blood. The zombies wrapped in flames were like headless flies at this time. A few of them were so blind that they moved towards Xiao Yao and were killed by Xiao Yao's firehook. As the burning continued, Xiao Yao's field of vision had already appeared in the screen of experience points. The fire was so big that the thick fog outside was actually baked away by the sea of flames for a short time. If there was no thick fog in the distance, Xiao Yao almost thought that the thick fog disappeared ahead of time. In the distance it was already like a sea of flames. Xiao Yao saw that the gas station in the distance was like a water pipe cut by an excavator. The gasoline dragon was spraying out without any charge. The sky-high flames rushed directly to the roof, like an unruly fire dragon, and was bound to burn everything in front of it. The process of burning liquor was very fast. After a while, there was only a pile of charred zombie bodies left at the door of the toilet. At this time, only the fire in the area of the door was relatively small. The flames next to the gas station in the distance were very scary. The erupting fire dragon was 3 meters high. After all, gasoline was the most terrifying liquid when it burned. It was not at all comparable to these high-proof liquors. This gasoline dragon was like a giant flame that chose people to devour. Bang! Another gas station exploded, and the flaming fragments in the sky were like fireworks, but Xiao Yao had no time to appreciate it at this time. No, the fire is out of control. There is an oil storage tank under the gas station. If the oil storage tank is detonated, the gas station will be razed to the ground. Xiao Yao quickly ran back to the women's bathroom, holding Xinru's hand, and ran out. Xinru, run, the gas station is going to explode. The fire at the toilet door had become very small. The alcohol on the ground had long been burned out. Only the corpses of the zombies at the door were still burning. Xinru, who had not yet recovered from her fear, could not keep up with Xiao Yao's pace. Xiao Yao simply carried Xinru on his shoulders and ran away on the corpses of the zombies. At this time, there was no time to pay attention to whether the zombie with the unicorn arm was nearby. If he did not escape, the oil tank under the gas station would explode, and 10 lives would not be enough. Xiao Yao ran quickly towards the road. None of the zombies behind him were spared. At this time, they were all in a burning state, like moving firemen. Some of them chased in the direction Xiao Yao left. After a few steps, they fell to the ground and were silent. Chapter 258, Infection again. Boom. With a loud bang, like an atomic bomb exploding at a close distance, a huge aftermath of the explosion rushed over, directly knocking Xiao Yao, who was still running, to the ground. Xiao Yao took advantage of the situation and hugged Yizhenru in his arms. With the help of the power of the aftermath of the explosion, he rolled himself into a ball and rolled far away. Bang! Xiao Yao, who had rolled into a ball, directly hit the truck compartment. The spirit survivor helmet hit the truck compartment, making a loud noise, and directly knocked the compartment into a dent. Plop. Xiao Yao, who hit the truck, fell directly to the ground and then fainted. Bang! A heavy object was blown away by the aftermath of the explosion and hit the roof of the truck, revealing a leg dangling on the edge of the truck compartment. It looked like a zombie, but at this time, the zombie was motionless and seemed to have been directly killed by the explosion. Xiao Yao was unconscious beside the carriage, and Yizhenru was lying on top of him. Although the aftermath of the explosion did not directly hit Yizhenru, it still made her dizzy and her head buzzing. "Husband, how are you? Don't die." Yizhenru, who was held in Xiao Yao's arms, was dizzy from the shock, but fortunately Xiao Yao had been using his body as a shield for Yizhenru. At this time, Yizhenru had recovered. Seeing that Xiao Yao was silent and the blood on his face showed how many injuries Xiao Yao had just suffered, Yizhenru was nervously shaking Xiao Yao's head. Pa. 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 Seeing that she couldn't wake Xiao Yao up, Yizhenru simply slapped Xiao Yao 3 times. There was no other way, hoping to wake Xiao Yao up. Seeing that Xiao Yao still didn't seem to wake up, Yizhenru thought of another way, pinching the philtrum with her fingernails, that is, the concave area below the nose and above the mouth. Yizhenru pinched it hard a few times, and Xiao Yao's fingers moved slightly a few times. It works. Yizhenru saw Xiao Yao's fingers move a few times. She cried with joy and could not help but increase the strength. The unconscious Xiao Yao felt an unusual burning pain on his lips, and the whole person was directly pulled back to reality. At this time, Xiao Yao slowly opened his eyes, and there was a blood red in front of him. Although he was wearing the Shenpo survivor helmet, his head hurt so much, as if his head was also broken through the helmet. At this time, his face was full of blood flowing from his head. He didn't know where the reconnaissance glasses fell. The blood blocked his vision. Xiao Yao, who was nearsighted, couldn't see everything in front of him. He only saw a red blurry world in front of him, and a figure next to him was shaking himself. This should be Zenru. Hiss. A tearing pain came from his back, making Xiao Yao couldn't help but gasp. "Honey, you're awake, that's great." "Zenru, are you okay?" "I'm fine, honey, you lost a lot of blood. Quick, help me find my glasses, I can't see anything now." "Honey, wait a minute, I'll help you find it," Zenru said, and anxiously searched from the side, and finally found the reconnaissance glasses next to the tire of the truck. Honey, I found the glasses, but the lens is broken, only half of it is left." At this time, Zenru was holding Xiao Yao's reconnaissance glasses, that is, the frog-shaped glasses. At this time, the glasses lost a lens, and the remaining one was only half of it. "Hurry up, give it to me." Xiao Yao took the reconnaissance glasses and put them on. A blue light flashed and the vision returned to the game interface again, but at this time, the vision was only a quarter of the upper right corner. Unfortunately, there were no lenses in the rest of the place, and the picture could not be displayed, and it could not show how much health was left at this time. The only thing to be thankful for was that the retained picture was the small map area, and the small map could still be opened. Xiao Yao opened the small map. At this time, there were no other red dots around him and Zenru, so Xiao Yao breathed a sigh of relief. Xiao Yao quickly bought a few bottles of red ginseng soup, handed one to Zenru, and then gulped down the next bottle. After drinking the red ginseng soup, Xiao Yao was able to move slightly. Xiao Yao tried to sit up. Hiss. A pain came from his back. His back was burning. He must have been injured. Xiao Yao took out his mobile phone. At this time, the screen of the mobile phone had been broken into spider webs. Fortunately, it could still be operated. Xiao Yao clicked on the character interface and could vaguely see that he was now in a poisoning superposition state, an infected state, and a bleeding state. His health value was at the bottom. As a last resort, Xiao Yao quickly drank another bottle of red ginseng soup. "Let's go, get in the car." Xiao Yao couldn't see how fast he was losing blood, so he could only find a safe place to bandage his wounds. He stood up with the help of Yuzinru's weak strength. Although Yuzinru's strength was not great, sometimes it was the last bit of strength that was lacking. People often say that the last straw that broke the camel's back was the straw that broke the camel's back. This is what Xiao Yao meant. He opened the cab of the truck next to him and sat on it despite the severe pain. Yuzinru got on the cab of the truck from the other side and closed the door. Now the lens of the reconnaissance glasses was missing, so he couldn't see the place where the health value was at all. Xiao Yao had no choice but to check the interface of his mobile phone. "Xinru, help me check my back, is there a wound?" Xiao Yao turned his body sideways and faced his back to Xinru. "Woo." Xinru covered her mouth. At this time, there was a long wound on the left side of Xiao Yao's back. The flesh flaps on both sides of the wound were turned outward, and the ribs inside could be seen. "Honey, the wound on your back is too deep. It's okay, help me bandage it, I feel like I'm going to bleed to death." Yuzinru hurriedly took off her school bag and looked for bandages and disinfectant from it. The plastic bottle of disinfectant had been broken, and the disinfectant inside had all spilled out, dyeing the rolled bandages purple-red. "Honey, the disinfectant has all spilled on the bandages." "It's okay, no need to disinfect, just bandage it for me." Yuzinru followed her words and bandaged Xiao Yao. In order to make it easier to bandage, Xiao Yao took off his shirt again with pain. The shocking wound appeared in front of her eyes, and Yuzinru's bandaging movements trembled. "Does it hurt?" Yuzinru cried out in pain. "Isn't that nonsense? I'm not a machine, of course it hurts, stop talking nonsense, bandage it quickly." Xiao Yao was in so much pain, but Yuzinru didn't bandage it quickly and kept talking nonsense. Xiao Yao just finished speaking, and felt that Yuzinru's movements became much rougher. "Hiss. Be gentle. It hurts so much that I'm going to die. What did I say wrong?" "No, I thought too much, you're fine." Yuzinru bandaged the wound on Xiao Yao's back angrily, bandaging it diagonally from the left shoulder to the right abdomen. After the bandage was completed, Xiao Yao took off his glasses and put them away with his mobile phone. Xiao Yao guessed correctly that the reconnaissance glasses could be repaired, but they were also made of inferior blood essence. The zombies that were burned to death with Maote wine just now were counted on Xiao Yao's head. At this time, there were more than 300 inferior blood essences in his backpack. After consuming 100 pieces of inferior blood essence, the reconnaissance glasses were restored to the latest state. Xiao Yao took them out and put on the reconnaissance glasses. A blue light flashed and his vision was restored to normal again. Sure enough, his bleeding state and superimposed poisoning state were gone, but there was an additional infection state. System, infection, the doomsday virus enters the body through the wound, and the blood loss is 10 points per minute. It cannot be cancelled by itself. Please take the antidote. The blood loss is 10 points per minute. Now with a helmet and a body forging technique, the life recovery is only 5. I fell into the passive blood loss state again. I can only wait until I upgrade to level 16. The negative state will naturally disappear. It seems that I have to upgrade quickly, otherwise it will always be a trouble. But at this time, I will change into Yuzinru's pink down jacket. At least it can increase 2 points of life recovery, so that I can consume less red ginseng soup. Xinru, take off your coat. I'll lose blood too fast and need to recover blood. Chapter 259 Death of the Keelan Arm Zombie. Xiao Yao put on Yuzinru's pink down jacket. His health had recovered to 8/minute. In order to replenish his health, Xiao Yao drank more than a dozen bottles of mineral water. Yes, more than a dozen bottles. If Xiao Yao's appetite was not big enough, replenishing his blood would be a problem. Fortunately, Yuzinru was not injured under his protection. Otherwise, if 2 people were infected at this time, I don't know if Yuzinru could drink so much red ginseng soup. She drank so much that her stomach was a little full. Xiao Yao looked at the red ginseng soup in his hand. Isn't this red ginseng soup a bit too low level? With the current upper limit of health, it actually takes dozens of bottles to replenish it. Xinru, wait in the car, I'm going to the toilet. After drinking dozens of bottles of red ginseng soup, his health slowly recovered, but a urge to urinate also attacked from his lower abdomen. Xiao Yao had no choice but to open the gate to release water. After getting off the truck and closing the door, Xiao Yao came to the compartment next to the truck and started to drain the water from the rear tires. Swish. Snap. Snap. Xiao Yao was draining the water, and there were other sounds mixed in. Xiao Yao touched his helmet, and there was a mouthful of bloody phlegm on the top of the helmet. Xiao Yao slowly raised his head and saw a zombie with a big mouth on the top of the car, and bloody saliva dripping from his mouth, but the saliva was very sticky, a bit like phlegm. The zombie's right hand was very huge, as thick as an elephant's leg. Kill an armed zombie. Xiao Yao's eyes widened. The zombie in front of him was the one Xiao Yao stole from the small hole in the wall of the women's toilet, but the mouth of the one in front of him was split to the back of the neck, and the left arm was completely cut off. Only half of the health value was left, only 1234, 2000. I don't know what happened before. Could it be that the arm was blown off by the explosion of the oil tank at the gas station? At this time, pus and blood were still flowing out of the gap in the zombie's left arm, which was as disgusting as squeezing a pimple. The appearance of the zombie changed. It seemed that it had evolved another step. The unicorn arm propped up its body with its huge right hand, and then jumped down from the top of the truck compartment. Bang! The unicorn arm zombie smashed into the ground, making a big hole and making a loud noise, like a muffled hammer hitting the ground. Xiao Yao rolled to the side. Hubby, what's the sound? Yi Xinru heard the loud noise, opened the door and looked at Xiao Yao. She saw a monster with huge arms standing opposite Xiao Yao. Yi Xinru quickly covered her mouth. Go back. Xiao Yao scolded Yi Xinru without turning his head. Puff. The unicorn arm zombie just glanced at Yi Xinru, who opened the door, then turned his head and continued to stare at Xiao Yao in front of him. He was not interested in the school beauty at all, as if he was more interested in Xiao Yao than Yi Xinru. He spat a mouthful of thick phlegm at the side, as if to express his disdain for Xiao Yao. Huh? Xiao Yao breathed a sigh of relief. Thanks to the title of public enemy, no matter how many survivors there were, the zombies would attack him first. Xiao Yao wanted to thank this public enemy status. At least, before he died, the people around him were safe. This indiscriminate ridicule really saved Xiao Yao a lot of worries. Xiao Yao took out a fire stick. Come on, let me meet you and see if you are qualified to be my stepping stone. Roar. As if he understood Xiao Yao's sarcasm, the Kirin-armed zombie stretched out his right hand and hammered his chest like a gorilla, and actually hammered his chest directly into a dent. Oh my god, what kind of martial arts is this? The 7-injury fist? The kind that kills 800 enemies and injures 1,000 of your own. Xiao Yao quickly focused on the Kirin-armed zombie not far away, only to see that the opponent's health value dropped by 100 again at this time, but the combat power increased by 200. It was really a secret method of exchanging injuries for injuries. It should be a martial art similar to blood sacrifice. The zombie in front of him didn't seem to have a high IQ. Would he awaken this kind of martial arts? What Xiao Yao didn't know was that a human needs to kill 1,000 first-level zombies to awaken to level 15, but there are many ways to awaken a zombie at level 15. The simplest way is to devour 100 human hearts. The Kirin-armed zombie in front of him has already devoured 98 human hearts. Xiao Yao is its last target. Of course, Yi Xinru next to him is not to be feared at all. The effect of public enemy makes it want to kill the fat man in front of it first. Roar. The Kirin-armed zombie stopped beating. This little injury is nothing. After awakening, all the pain will heal immediately. As long as it eats the hearts of the last 2 people, it can awaken. The Kirin-armed zombie rushed towards Xiao Yao with a step that did not recognize any relatives. The way it ran made Xiao Yao feel like laughing, but the current situation made him unable to laugh. After all, the Kirin-armed zombie looked very weird. The Kirin-armed zombie ran with 2 legs and a huge right hand, that is, it looked like it was using 3 legs together. Roar. The Kirin-armed zombie raised his huge right hand, like an excavator bucket, and hammered it down at Xiao Yao's place. You're just a fool. This trick worked every time. Xiao Yao dodged the Kirin-arm's attack again, and the Kirin-armed zombie's huge fist smashed a big hole in the ground. Xiao Yao took the fire stick and stabbed the zombie's head while the Kirin-armed zombie's huge fist was still in the hole. In a panic, Xiao Yao only stabbed the zombie's ear, which did not cause much damage to the Kirin-armed zombie. White smoke sizzled on the zombie's ear, as if it was burned. Roar. The Kirin-armed zombie felt pain and swung his right fist directly at Xiao Yao. Xiao Yao quickly retreated, and the Kirin-armed zombie hit nothing. The centrifugal force driven by the huge right fist caused his body to stumble and fall to the side, exposing his back to Xiao Yao at this time. Good opportunity. Xiao Yao quickly rushed forward and stabbed the back of the Kirin-armed zombie quickly, instantly turning the back of the Kirin arm zombie into a hornet's nest. Roar. Go to hell. Xiao Yao smashed the Kirin arm zombie's head with a fire stick, and the whole fire stick was smashed into the Kirin arm zombie's head. The zombie's roar stopped abruptly. System, experience plus 200, money plus 200, inferior blood essence plus 1. A green ball appeared under his feet, rolling far away, and rolled directly to the side of the truck. Xiao Yao moved over and leaned over to pick it up. Reconnaissance, life orb, plus 250 health points. This is a porcelain ball like the marbles we played when we were young, except that this porcelain ball is an opaque green thorn ball. There happened to be an inlay hole on the helmet, so Xiao Yao directly inlaid the fallen life orb on the helmet. After the battle, Xiao Yao looked towards the truck and saw Yizhinru waving at him through the window. Xiao Yao also waved back. Fortunately, this zombie with a unicorn arm was seriously injured by the explosion. If it was in normal condition, he would definitely not be able to kill it so easily. Xiao Yao came to the truck, opened the door and got on the passenger seat. Honey, are you okay? I'm fine. It was a close call. However, I'm starting to worry. I'm afraid this trip to the city won't go smoothly. What's wrong, honey? At level 15, humans can awaken. I overlooked one thing. Zombies at level 15, I'm afraid, can also awaken. The one I just killed was not awakened, and it's already harder to kill than ordinary zombies. If half of the zombies in the city are awakened, then this time it might be a dangerous place. Honey, are you saying that the zombies now will awaken? And will be even harder to kill than now? Yes, level 15 is a hurdle. I'm level 15 now. I need to kill 1000 awakened zombies before I can continue to upgrade. Now I'm less than 400 away. As for the zombies, I don't know what their awakening mission is, but it seems that they will definitely kill survivors. I just don't know how many. Honey, how many days will it take for the zombies to reach level 15? Today's lowest are level 12. According to the progress, in another 3 days, all of them will meet the prerequisite for awakening to level 15. 3 days. We don't have much time left. All the zombies in the city need to complete the awakening mission. I'm afraid it will be another zombie tide. What should we do, husband? Why don't we not go to the city? No. We must go to the city, and this time, we must speed up and try to return within 3 days. We don't have much time to waste. Xiao Yao glanced at the fire in the thick fog. The thick fog was burned by the fire, and the vision became much better. Xiao Yao narrowed his eyes and muttered in a low voice, it seems that this thick fog is afraid of fire. Chapter 260, Riding on My Beloved Motorcycle. Pa. Xiao Yao was talking to Yizhinru with a serious face when a voice appeared in front of the truck. Who? Xiao Yao quickly picked up the fire stick. Meow. A black cat was sitting in front of the windshield of the truck. It was the black cat he met in his hometown. The black cat looked at Xiao Yao and Yizhinru with a cute face, and meowed from time to time to act cute. Honey, the cat is back. What the hell, what's the use of it? It disappeared when there was a fight, and it came back after the fight. Meow. The black cat called obediently, and it scratched the front windshield with its claws. Stop. Don't scratch it, or the glass will break. Xiao Yao hurriedly stopped the black cat from scratching the glass. He still remembered the black cat scratching the aluminum alloy door in his mind. This was glass, and it couldn't withstand a few scratches. Fortunately, the black cat didn't use too much force. Xiao Yao opened the car door and let the black cat get in the car. The black cat jumped into Yizhinru's arms and laid down to sleep quietly. Is this a fucking pig? Honey, we haven't named it yet, why don't we give it a name? How about Wahoo? Its body is black, where are the spots? Why not call it he, black, he? He doesn't sound good, it sounds like a dog's name. How about calling it Xiao? It's pitch black, like it's burned. How about the name Xiao? Xiao, okay, from now on, we'll call it Xiao. Xiao. Meow. Xiao responded, as if to say that he got it, and then changed his position and continued to sleep. Just call it a pig, it can sleep so well. Meow. Xiao seemed to be protesting, and actually woke up from his sleep, blowing his beard and glaring at Xiao Yao. Not a pig, just Xiao. Xiao Yao comforted Xiao, who was so angry. Seeing Xiao continue to sleep, Xiao Yao said viciously, just wait until my level exceeds yours. Of course, Xiao Yao only lip-synced, but did not dare to make a sound. At least, Xiao Yao did not have the courage to say it to his face. One by one, you are so good at using your power to suppress others. One day, I will make you dogs and cats kneel down at my feet and lick my feet. Xiao Yao took out a backpack. He got a lot of things when the gas station was burned just now, but later the fire was too big. Xiao Yao was afraid that it would be dangerous to pick up the pet Xiao Qiang, so he took Xiao Qiang back and summoned Xiao Qiang again when he got to the truck. Xiao Yao took a rough look and found that the broken equipment increased a lot. Of course, he picked up 6 new equipment. The number was not large, and basically there was nothing useful. The only useful thing was probably a pair of shoes. Backpack, Explorer Martin boots, plus 176 HP, durability 1000/1000. A small item that increases life, but has no movement speed. Xiao Yao doesn't like it very much. After all, his speed is already very low. He glanced at his Nike shoes. At this time, the durability of the Nike shoes is very low. Forget it. It seems that he will have to reduce his movement speed by 10% in the future. Xiao Yao called the Explorer Martin boots and put the Nike shoes into the backpack. This is the only pair of shoes that increase the movement speed. Now Xiao Yao doesn't know how to repair the durability. He can wear it again when he finds a way to repair the durability. The original off-road vehicle has a flat tire. It seems that he can only find another one from the roadside. Xinru, wait for me in the car. I'll go see if there is a car that can be driven. Yes. Xiao Yao got out of the car and looked around. The fog was still thick. He could only look south by memory. Pa. Gululu. There was a sound behind him. Xiao Yao quickly came back to his senses and raised the fire stick. He saw a round object rolling directly to Xiao Yao's feet. Helmet. Xiao Yao leaned over to pick it up. It was a helmet covered with a film, and it looked like it was still new. Pa. Gululu. Another sound rang out, and another helmet rolled to the side not far away. Xiao Yao looked forward, and saw that there were several helmets covered with film on the ground in the gap of the truck compartment that was originally dented by him. Xiao Yao went directly to the back of the compartment, unlocked the compartment, and then opened the compartment. Pa. Pa. Countless helmets poured out from the back of the compartment, all fell to the ground and rolled far away. This truck actually pulled a compartment full of helmets. Xiao Yao picked up another helmet from the ground. He already had a Shenpo survivor helmet, and he couldn't wear a second one. However, Yi Xinru was only wearing a headband, so she should be able to wear another helmet. Xiao Yao came to the front of the truck with a helmet, opened the door, and handed the helmet to Yi Xinru. Xinru, put on this helmet, I'll see if it works. Oh. Yi Xinru put on the helmet. Get off the bus. After Yi Xinru got off the bus, Xiao Yao observed her status and health. It works, Xiao Yao waved his fist. After putting on the helmet, he gained a 20-minute immunity to the poisoning state. Xiao Yao guessed that closing the door could prevent the thick fog from coming in, so why couldn't wearing a helmet prevent the inhalation of the thick fog? Facts have proved that wearing a helmet can prevent the inhalation of thick fog, but only for 20 minutes, which means that after 20 minutes, wearing a helmet is useless. Don't underestimate these short 20 minutes. You know, ordinary people can only survive for 15 minutes in the thick fog outside, which is equivalent to one more life. Xinru, you get on the bus first, I'll go collect all the helmets. Xiao Yao said and went back to the rear of the car again, collecting all the helmets in the car into the backpack, even those that fell on the ground. Backpack, helmet. 499. Although I can't wear a helmet myself, I can give it to Xinru. If I meet other survivors, it can also give other survivors a longer chance of survival. After collecting the helmets, Xiao Yao returned to the front of the truck and took out his beloved scooter. Yes, the scooter that costs money every minute to ride. He was afraid that he couldn't use it on the highway because of the traffic jams, the countless obstacles on the road and the broken down scooters. But his 2 scooters were different. They were easy to carry and wouldn't get stuck in traffic, which was exactly what he needed at this moment. Pa. Xiao Yao knocked on the door. Xinru, get out of the car. Honey, why did you get a scooter? Now even if we find a car, we can't drive it. We can't get through on the road. It's better to ride a scooter. At least there won't be a traffic jam. I know what you are worried about. Don't be afraid. The helmet can guarantee 20 minutes of immunity. As long as we find a safe place in 20 minutes, we can do it. Eh? Why are you still standing there? Get in the car. Okay, Zinru sat directly on the back seat of the motorcycle. Hold on tight, I'm going to start. Xiao Yao stepped on the accelerator, and the front of the motorcycle lifted up directly. Ah! Zinru was so scared that she hugged Xiao Yao tightly. The front of the motorcycle fell to the ground, and the rear wheel rolled up a cloud of dust. Xiao Yao drove the motorcycle away. Meow. Xiao Yao, who had just been put on the truck by Zinru to sleep, was awakened by the roar of Xiao Yao's motorcycle. He had just got off the truck and was looking at the taillights of the motorcycle with a face full of resentment. Meow. I haven't gotten on the car yet. Looking at the taillights of the motorcycle going away, Xiao Yao was not in a hurry. He licked his paws, then turned around and came to the body of the Kirin arm zombie that had been killed long ago, and bit the zombie's Kirin arm. Baji. Baji. After a while, the entire zombie's Kirin arm was eaten by Xiao Yao until only bones were left. Gurgle. Xiao Yao burped, and then chased Xiao Yao in the distant direction. Chapter 261, Reunion with an Old Friend. In an extremely dim room, the stench, decay, blood, and various smells mixed together almost made people faint. Gurgle. Suddenly there was a sound like drumming. That was the sound of hunger coming from the stomach. Brother, I'm hungry. Sister, don't be afraid, you won't be hungry after being hungry for a long time. The big man said lovingly to a petite girl lying on the straw. In the dim room, there was a tall big man. The big man was originally burly, but now, the big man only had this body frame, and there was no muscle support. Next to him, there were vaguely seen the bodies of several survivors who had starved to death. They had been locked up here for 2 days, without a drop of water or a grain of rice. Bang! A small window on a huge door was opened, and a faint light came in from outside. It's time to eat, followed by a voice like the sound of nature, and then a click. The person outside threw in an unknown object, and then the small window on the door was closed again. The big man climbed to the gate with both hands and feet and picked up the food thrown in. It was a hard steamed bun, as hard as a stone. The big man ran back to the pile of straw inside with a steamed bun in his arms. Sister, it's a steamed bun, come and eat it. That's great, brother, I thought I was going to starve to death. The little girl excitedly held the steamed bun and started to chew it. The steamed bun was too hard, and the little girl, who was already too hungry to have any strength, couldn't bite the smooth surface of the steamed bun. Brother, I can't bite it. I'll break it for you. The big man took the steamed bun from the little girl and broke it open with force. His whole body was covered with sweat. The big man was so hungry that he had no strength left. Sister, here, you eat the inside. It's softer inside. The outside is too hard. Well, brother eats it too. Brother hasn't eaten for several days. Brother is not hungry. Sister, you eat first. Brother, I'll give it to you soon. You haven't eaten for several days. How can you not be hungry? This piece is for you and this piece is for me. If you don't eat it, then I won't eat it either. I'll eat it, I'll eat it. The big man took a small bite of the hard steamed bun. Look, I've eaten it. Sister, you should eat it too. Well, the sister said, and she started to eat the steamed bun desperately like a wolf eating meat. Oh, brother, water. The sister was choked by the steamed bun at this time and couldn't breathe. Sister, don't scare me. The big man slapped the sister's back frantically. Where's the water here? The big man ran to the gate and slapped it frantically. Please, give me some water. My sister is choking and needs water. Chila. The small window on the gate was opened. What are you shouting for? You won't get any steamed buns even if you ask for it. Now you want water. Do you think water is free? Let your sister serve our boss willingly, so shouldn't you have as much water as you want? That's right, I'll starve you for a few days and see why you are still stubborn. Don't you want water? Another man at the door took an empty mineral water bottle, took off his pants and started to drain the water. After a while, he filled half a bottle. No water, but I have half a bottle of urine, and it's still warm. Take it or not. The man with a black face threw a bottle of half-filled urine in through the small window of the gate. The bottle was not covered, and a lot of urine from the original half-filled bottle flowed out. The urine from the bottle mouth splashed on the big man's face. SHH. The small window was closed, and the people outside the door left cursing. You still want water? Do you really think you can come here to enjoy yourself? Anyway, these two people are just fodder, and they will die sooner or later. "Brother, let's go and have a drink to relieve your fatigue," the man who had thrown the urine said to another person next to him. Then the two left the gate. Bang! The big man hammered on the door hard to vent his anger at the moment. "Water." The sister behind him made a weak sound at this time. The big man turned around quickly, helped his sister up and shook her madly. "Sister, sister, sister, don't get hurt." The younger sister was choked by the steamed bun and rolled her eyes. The big man glanced at the mineral water bottle not far away which still had not much urine left. He gritted his teeth and stretched out his hand. Dot. Boom boom boom. Xiao Yao drove the motorcycle and had traveled a long distance. Although there was a traffic jam on the road, the flexibility of the motorcycle and the fact that Xiao Yao could store energy in his backpack made the journey smooth. He had already rested several times. After driving for a while, he should be able to reach the city. He had been driving in the suburbs during this period. Beep, beep, beep. The speed of the motorcycle was getting slower and slower, and finally it stalled. Beep, beep, beep. Xiao Yao tried to start the motorcycle several times but failed. He glanced at the fuel gauge of the motorcycle and saw that the pointer was already at the top of the red area. Fuck, this motorcycle costs money and it also burns oil. Wife, the motorcycle is out of oil. We can only get off and walk. Okay. Xinru got off the motorcycle, and Xiao Yao put the motorcycle directly into his backpack. Just kidding, there is a ready-made labor force, why do you need to push it? Xiao Yao took Xinru's hand and slowly searched for intact cars on the roadside. Most of them were crashed into scrap metal, and some were burned into empty shells. During the search, Xiao Yao and Xinru had in a relatively intact car to rest. Unexpectedly, this helmet is still a consumable. After 20 minutes, the helmet used before will not be immune to the superposition virus. At this time, 10 helmets have been used. Searching all the way, no car that can still be driven was found. Don't be too unlucky. At this time, Xiao Yao and Xinru hid behind a huge sign on the roadside, looking at a building not far away. This huge sign is a sign unique to gas stations. It says 92, 95, 98 diesel or something like that. In other words, there is another gas station ahead. Xinru, there is a gas station ahead. Let's go see if we can refuel the motorcycle. I don't know if there are any zombies. Pay attention and follow me closely. Okay, husband. Xiao Yao glanced at the small map. At this time, the small map can already display the map information within a radius of 4 meters. There are no other creatures around except for his and Xinru's marks, but Xiao Yao dare not be careless. After all, the lowest zombies are now level 12. If a zombie like the unicorn arm zombie comes out, it will be enough for Xiao Yao to drink a pot. Xiao Yao pulled Xinru carefully to the gas station. Occasionally, zombie corpses can be seen on the road. On the gas station, a car was parked next to it. The gas gun was still hanging on the mailbox cover. The car door was open. I don't know where the driver and the gas safety officer went. There was also a bus next to it. It was very quiet inside. It seemed that there was no one. Strange, this gas station is surprisingly quiet. Xiao Yao held Xinru's hand tightly and walked to the convenience store. He went to the convenience store first to see if there was anything to eat. Squeak. The door opened. There was a wind chime at the door. The wind driven by Xiao Yao's pushing of the door blew a bell sound. Is anyone there? Ding dong. Ding dong. There was no response, only the sound of the wind chime on top of the door told of the silence. The shelves of the convenience store were filled with various drinks and food. Xiao Yao was puzzled. What's going on? Where are the zombies? Where are the survivors? Why are there so many foods here? Xiao Yao looked at the small map vigilantly, only to see that the small map was empty. No matter what, since there were no enemies on the small map, there must be no enemies. It seemed that God had given him a wave of benefits. Xinru, that's great. There are so many foods here. Eat them first. Xiao Yao picked up the food on the shelf, opened the can lid and started eating. Don't move, put your hands up. A voice came from outside, and then the door was pushed open, and 5 people walked in. The man in front was wearing a Yamen uniform and holding a pistol in his hand, which was pointed at Xiao Yao. Yamen K. The man pointing the pistol at him was K, whom he had met twice before. Do you know me? Yamen K didn't expect that the fat man in front of him actually knew him. Could he be his flatterer? After all, As a Yamen runner, he also had a cousin who was the deputy Yamen runner. In peacetime, there were countless people flattering him. Chapter 262 I bet there's no bullet in your gun. Yay, it's me, I'm Xiao Yao. I went to the Yay division once before the end of the world, and you personally received me. Damn, this Yay kept pointing a pistol at me. After all, a pistol was a hot weapon that Xiao Yao had never seen before, especially with Yi Xinru beside him. If the gun went off accidentally, it would be very serious. Xiao Yao had to stabilize Yay first, and then take it slowly. Oh. It's Xiao Yao. I didn't expect that we would meet here. You are lucky to be able to survive. It's not easy. How about it, are you interested in following your brother? When Yay heard that he had been to the Yay division before the end of the world, it was so long before the end of the world, who would remember it? However, it should be to give him a gift. Xiao Yao in front of him did look familiar, but Yay forgot what happened for a while. Since he was trying to curry favor with him, it would definitely be better if he could pull him under his command. After all, he didn't have much say here. If he could have one more younger brother, his say should be stronger. Yay, it's not that I don't want to hang out with you, it's just that my sister is still in the city, and I have to go find her. Hey, don't go find her. There are tens of thousands of zombies in the city, wouldn't it be suicide? It's better to follow me, your brother, and have food and drink at this gas station. How free and easy. The only pity is that there are too few women, too many wolves and too little meat. Hey? Who is this beautiful sister next to you? Yay looked at Yi Xinru next to him with a lustful look. Yay, this is my wife, Xiao. Xiao Yao's tone also became a lot colder. He actually dared to look at Yi Xinru with such a look. Xiao Yao directly sentenced Yay to death. Xiao Yi? Brother, your luck is incredible. It's not enough that you survived, but you also have such a beautiful wife. We brothers haven't had contact with women for a long time. Do you want to share with me? Xiao Yao slowly approached Yay. He originally wanted to stabilize Yay and then take it slowly. At this time, Xiao Yao didn't want to spend so much effort. He was a level 15 master. It was a waste of time to talk to a few trash here. While Yay was looking at Yi Xinru with lustful eyes, Xiao Yao quickly approached Yay. What are you doing? Exclamation mark. Stand back. If you take another step forward, I will shoot. You kid have bad intentions. I didn't expect that Yay would actually trick Xiao Yao. He looked at Yi Xinru with lustful eyes, but in fact, he was always paying attention to Xiao Yao. After all, if Xiao Yao was subdued, that woman would not be a problem. Damn it. Xiao Yao complained in his heart. Yay was quite alert, but it was precisely because of this step that Yay's information also appeared in Xiao Yao's field of vision. Reconnaissance, Yay race, human level. 3 combat power. 74 HP. 250/250 A scum with a combat power of less than 100 and a HP of only 250, dared to threaten him with a gun. Xiao Yao focused his vision on Yay's pistol. Reconnaissance, Yay's pistol, plus 100 attack, durability 0/30. The attack of the pistol is 100, but the durability makes Xiao Yao unable to determine. How can the durability be 0, and the upper limit is only 30? A bold guess came to Xiao Yao's mind. Could it be that this durability is the number of bullets? In other words, Yay's pistol has no bullets. Okay, playing a routine, right? Empty city strategy. Xiao Yao continued to walk towards Yay. Even if there were bullets in his pistol, with a 100% critical hit rate, he would only lose 200 of his health points. Although he was infected and losing blood, he still had more than 600 health points and would not die at all. As for the few people behind Yay, they were all holding fire axes, and their combat power was probably just scum. There was no need to be afraid. Xiao Yao, I warn you, if you go any further, I will shoot you. First warning. Second warning. If you go any further, I will shoot your girlfriend to death. Xiao Yao in front of him was a madman. He didn't care at all when he pointed a gun at him. Yay had no choice but to point his pistol at Yi Xinru, hoping to make Xiao Yao stop. Xinru, squat down. If Xiao Yao was still guessing just now, then at this moment, Xiao Yao was 100% sure that there was no bullet in Yay's pistol, otherwise he would not threaten himself with the people around him. If there was a bullet in the gun, he would have shot himself long ago. Even if he didn't shoot his head, he would have shot his thigh or something. Isn't that how it's played on TV? Xinru squatted down as she was told and hid behind the shelf. Xiao Yao, what do you want to do? Are you going to attack the Yi? This is a serious crime. Yi, I'm a good citizen. I have nothing in my hands and I didn't do anything. How can I be considered an attack on the Yi? Why don't you help me catch the woman behind the shelf? Yi turned around and said to the people behind him. It's not your turn to instruct us on what we want to do. Let's go and catch that woman first. Let Yi be responsible for this fat guy. He's still so fat at the end of his life. He's really a pig. The leader Wang Yi led 3 people to bypass Yi and Xiao Yao to catch Xinru. Let's see who dares. Hey, fatty? Are you really not afraid of bullets, or are you not afraid of death? Look carefully, there are 5 of us, and our chief Yaman runner K has a gun in his hand. What, you think you are good at fighting, right? Do you believe that I can kill you with an axe? The leader Wang Yi said, and went around Xiao Yao to catch Xinru. There were 3 people following behind him. Each of them had a fire axe and looked at Xiao Yao with disdain. One of them even spat a mouthful of thick phlegm on the ground in the direction of Xiao Yao. It's not your fault that you are not afraid of me. After all, those who offended me are all dead. There is no legend about me in this world. You are so awesome, but you don't even think twice. Damn it, brothers, kill this fat guy first. It's really annoying. Come on. Come on, although it's not the first time to kill the same kind, but it's the first time I see people like you who are so eager to die. It's also eye-opening. Xiao Yao took out a fire stick and pointed at the people who spoke rudely. At this time, Yi quietly put down his pistol and stepped back. He knew his own shortcomings. There was really no bullet in his pistol. The people at the gas station and convenience store were fooled by him. Unexpectedly, this fat guy in front of him was not afraid of death and was not fooled. Since the 4 of them were going to fight, it was just right for them to fight each other. Oh, I'm not dazzled, brothers, did you see that? This fat guy in front of us actually took a fire stick and wanted to fight with us. Wang Yi almost laughed out loud when he saw Xiao Yao took out a fire stick. Ho ha ho ha. The 3 people around him were also laughing with fire axes. Fatty, are you going to make us laugh to death and inherit our Aunt Huabai? Laugh. This may be the last time you laugh so happily. Xiao Yao was calm at the moment. He was going to save several times his kind to make up for his guilt, but he didn't expect that the first time he met his kind, he wanted to kill them. It was ridiculous. However, Xiao Yao was calm. The few clowns in front of him deserved to die more than Yi. Damn, you are so good at pretending. Brothers, chop this fat pretender off for me, just as if you were dissecting it in advance. Wang Mao raised the fire axe fiercely and rushed towards Xiao Yao first, with a mouthful of yellow teeth mixed with stench. You should brush your teeth. Wang Yi arrived in front of Xiao Yao and swung the fire axe directly at Xiao Yao. Xiao Yao used the skill of sweeping on Wang Yi in front of him with a fire stick, and then rolled to the side like a donkey, dodging the fire axe chopped by Wang Yi. Wang Yi's rush with the fire axe came to an abrupt halt, and the fire axe flew out of his hand and hit the shelf behind Xiao Yao. Wang Yi could not hear any sound from the outside world at this time, and it seemed a little painful. Wang Yi slowly lowered his head and looked at his abdomen. At this time, a crack appeared on his clothes. Wang Yi seemed to see his intestines cut out, and a few corn kernels fell out of his intestines. They were the undigested corn kernels he had eaten last night. Wang Yi slowly covered his stomach and wanted to hold his intestines, but the crack on his stomach was getting bigger and bigger. Wang Yi couldn't hold it at all, and his hands were getting weaker and weaker. Then the vision in front of him suddenly became unusually blurred, his eyelids became heavier, and the whole world was unusually quiet. He could only hear his heartbeat, which was getting slower and slower. Am I going to die? The last scene in his vision was the fat guy who appeared again in front of him. Wang Yi regretted it a little. Why did he go first? If he had known that the fat guy was so strong, he should have let his younger brother go first. He was so sleepy, as if he was going to sleep. Bang! Wang Yi fell straight down without a sound. The 3 people behind Wang Yi who were rushing towards him with fire axes seemed to be frozen in place, not daring to rush forward or retreat. Chapter 263 There is a kind of borrowing called not returning. Pa! Someone's fire axe fell to the ground. Xiao Yao looked over and saw that it was the guy who had just spit at him. Xiao Yao suddenly became interested. It seemed that killing them directly would be too easy for them. They were usually domineering and seemed to have bullied others a lot. It would be better to give them a taste of their own medicine. Xiao Yao pulled a stool and sat down. The other two also slowly squatted down and put the fire axe on the ground, looking like good boys. Sir, we are blind and don't recognize the great man. Please show mercy and let us go. Yes, just treat us as farts, sir, let us go. Fart? I have a bad stomach, so I farted so many times at once. Are you cursing me in various ways? I dare not, sir, I am stupid and said the wrong thing, I deserve to be beaten. One of the skinny guys, with a sly look, actually slapped himself, and the slapping sound was loud. Okay, stop playing any tricks on me. Let me tell you, tricks on me don't work. But it's not impossible for me to let you go, but I have a condition. Sir, please tell me the condition as soon as possible. We will do whatever we can. It's simple. Just be my lackey. Dog, lackey. Well, be my lackey, do things for me, be an obedient dog, and you can live. Otherwise, you will end up like him. Xiao Yao pointed at Wang Yang on the ground. A red carpet was spread out under Wang Yang. The carpet had flowed under the doorframe and flowed outside. This. Several people looked at each other, and the thin man with shifty eyes said, Sir, it's not that we don't want to be your lackeys, it's just that our boss has a gun, and we dare not betray him. Yes, sir, our boss has a revolver. If we betray him, we will definitely be shot. Revolver? It's a pistol again, how come? Our hot weapon's starting to appear now. Xiao Yao muttered, what does your boss do? How can he have such a thing as a pistol? Our boss is the station master of this gas station. We don't know where he got the pistol from. It's a pistol again. If the firepower of their boss's pistol is the same as that of the Yamen runner's pistol, at most it has an attack power of 100, and a critical height of 200. With my own blood volume, it should be no problem to get shot. However, Xiao Yao doesn't dare to gamble. What if the station master's pistol has more bullets? Then my own health will not be enough to kill him. Xiao Yao was in a dilemma for a while. Their station master might be waiting for their triumphant return. The more time they wasted here, the more suspicious they would be. Their station master might be on his way with a gun. No, they had to think of a way. Xiao Yao accidentally glanced at Kai next to the door and saw that he was slowly moving towards the door. It seemed that he was preparing to escape. Stop. My dear Kai, where are you going? Xiao Yao, I'm in a hurry, I want to go to the bathroom. Kai, you are really a lazy donkey with a lot of shit and urine. If I'm not blind, isn't this the direction to the toilet? Why did Kai go out? Although dogs usually like to find a bush to lift their legs to relieve themselves, Kai is a human. Does Kai have this hobby? But now, brother, I have something to ask of you, and I hope Kai can help me. Okay. I don't know if brother Xiao Yao needs me to do something. I will definitely do it. Serving the citizens is our duty, it's not difficult. Just lend me your bailiff's pistol, don't worry. I'll just use it temporarily. I will return it before tonight, since brother Xiao Yao has asked. As your brother I must lend it to you, right? Then why are you talking so much nonsense? Give it to me now, here I am. Ye slowly approached Xiao Yao, and then handed the pistol in his hand to Xiao Yao. When he saw Wang Yao lying on the red carpet, K's heartbeat increased by 100%, and cold sweat dripped down his forehead. The people next to him couldn't understand why K, who had a pistol, was so afraid of the fat man in front of him. From their conversation, they seemed to know each other before, which means that K knew how powerful Xiao Yao was. He didn't expect that Xiao Yao was not afraid of even the pistol at this time. K failed to intimidate him, and now he could only admit defeat. The three of them looked at each other. The werewolf in front of them was not afraid of even the pistol. It would not be shameful to be his lackey. Sir, actually we really want to follow you, but we are afraid of the station master's revolver. If you can disarm the station master's revolver, we are willing to follow you. Yes, we are willing to follow you, sir. The yellow-haired man next to him also shouted as if he was swearing allegiance. Xiao Yao glanced at him. He had spit at him just now, but now he is vying to be his lackey. It's really interesting. Since you are so willing to be a lackey, I will oblige you. Where is your station master? In the bunker on the underground floor. Huh? Bunker? What the hell? How can a gas station have such a facility? We only found out about this gas station after the doomsday broke out. It seems to be a converted oil storage tank. The station master's wife and children all live in it, and of course there are also a few survivors we captured. Xiao Yao glanced at the pistol that Ye brought over. Reconnaissance, Ye pistol, plus 100 attack, durability 0/30. The three of them lowered their heads. Only Ye was still stealing glances at him. Xiao Yao directly took out a magazine, and it was indeed empty. Xiao Yao glared at Ye, and Ye also lowered his head in shame. There were three of the station master's brothers in front of him, so Xiao Yao didn't say it clearly, but the look he conveyed to Ye, if he was not a fool, he should understand that if he dared to tell others that there were no bullets in the Ye's pistol, he would be dead. Caca. Xiao Yao installed the magazine of the Yamen pistol, pulled the bolt, loaded the gun, took off the safety, and aimed at the three people who were looking down in front of him. Sir, no, don't kill me, don't kill me. Several people heard Xiao Yao loading the pistol, quietly looked up and found that Xiao Yao was pointing the pistol at them, and they were scared to shit and piss. Sir, I will be your lackey now, please don't kill me. Huh? Xiao Yao looked at their panicked appearance. It seemed that they didn't know that there were no bullets in the gun. Get up, take me to find your station master. This. Don't talk nonsense, take him down today, and the new boss here will be one of you three. Are you serious, sir? Are you not going to be the boss here? Nonsense, I have to go to the city to save my sister, who has time to guard this piece of land and wait for death, wait for me to kill your boss, and one of you three will be the boss here. Of course, I will only choose the most obedient one. Sir, I'm obedient. Sir, I'm the most obedient. Stop, it's too early to say this now, I'm not blind, whoever is obedient, I see it in my eyes, and then I will naturally give this Yamen pistol in my hand to him and let him be the boss here. Xiao Yao completely forgot that when he asked Ye to borrow the pistol just now, he couldn't say that he would return it tonight. Why, there is a kind of borrowing that is borrowed but not returned, don't you know? It seems that he is still too young. That's great. I've been fed up with the station master for a long time. He orders us to do this and that with a broken gun every day. That's right. Several of our friends were bitten to death by zombies just because we helped him. The three people were talking bad about their station master behind his back. Xiao Yao saw it all and sneered in his heart. Haha, after he leaves, they will definitely say the same things about him behind his back. However, I won't give you a chance. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264 The Abnormal Station Master. Xiao Yao looked at the three people kneeling on the ground in front of him and scolding their station chief boss, and sneered in his heart. Maybe after he left, they would scold him even more harshly than now. After all, his title of public enemy was not a lie. Maybe when they were scolding their boss, they were actually scolding him in disguise. They were just afraid of Xiao Yao's strength. However, Xiao Yao didn't care about these, because these people in front of him had to die. Xiao Yao was not bored and looked for excitement for himself by finding a few traitors. Get up. Next, you have to cooperate with me and act out a play. Whoever acts well will be the boss here. Act out a play? Sir, we don't know how to act. You guys, pretend to catch me, and then when your station master is careless, I will use the Yamen pistol to subdue him directly. At that time, this place will be yours. As you say, sir. Let's go. You lead the way in front. When we get there, I will be your hostage. Okay, sir. The three of them stood up and led the way. Xiao Yao pulled Yizinaru and followed behind. The Yamen runner K next to them had not yet taken action. Let's go, Yamen runner K. Brother Xiao Yao, is it really okay? There may really be bullets in the opponent's pistol. It doesn't matter. Just keep quiet and don't reveal the truth. I will protect you from death. With what you said, Brother Xiao Yao, I feel relieved. Lead the way in front. When we get there, I hope you don't reveal your true identity. There were 5 people when they came, but now only 4 people have returned. I don't know if the station master will be suspicious. While they were all in front, Xiao Yao quickly replenished his health points, which was relatively safe. Yizhenru's health points were also full, but because all the life-restoring equipment was on Xiao Yao, Yizhenru could not restore her health points at this time. Xiao Yao glanced at Kaye in front of him. When they entered the convenience store just now, he was the only one whose health points were full. In other words, he had equipment that could restore life, but Xiao Yao didn't know what it was for the time being. Xiao Yao didn't believe that the people in front of him would betray him just like that. Maybe they would betray him again. Thinking of this, Xiao Yao took off his pink down jacket and handed it to Yizhenru. Zinru, put on this jacket. Husband, but you. It's okay, I can drink the red ginseng soup. I'm afraid you will be in danger later. I feel more at ease wearing this. Be obedient, I'm fine. Okay, Zinru took the down jacket and put it on outside. Then Xiao Yao took out the soul-locking orb from his backpack. This orb can absorb the health of surrounding creatures. Yizhenru, who was wearing a pink down jacket, could ignore this negative buff at this time, but the people around her would suffer. Zinru, keep this orb close to you. Xiao Yao quietly handed the soul-locking orb to Yizhenru. If anyone wanted to harm Yizhenru, they would have to prepare to be swallowed to death by the soul-locking orb. The people in front paused, and one of the thin guys turned around and said, "Sir, we're here. This small bungalow is the passage to the bunker. Well, come on, pretend to catch us. Sir, we're sorry. Don't mess it up. I won't die. I'm just afraid that if I fail, there won't be any so-called boss here. Sir, we dare not." Well, that's great. Xiao Yao put his hands behind his back and let two people hold him up. Of course, their strength was not very light, and it seemed that they really didn't dare to do anything to him. Yizhenru also had her hands behind her back and was held up by Kaye and another person. Xiao Yao glanced at her. Kaye lowered his head and didn't dare to look at Xiao Yao. If this guy dared to harm Yizhenru, he would be the first to kill him. Bang! 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 A person next to Xiao Yao was knocking on the door, and the knocking was very rhythmic. Was he like an underground worker, using secret signals? Squeak! The big iron door opened, and a gray-haired old man with a hunched back appeared in the field of vision. Have all the people been caught? Boss, they've all been caught. Well, come in. The old man turned around, revealing the pistol in his hand behind his back, as if in protest. What the hell? Xiao Yao muttered. How could this be an old man? The station master of the gas station is an old man? This was a bit unexpected to Xiao Yao, as if none of them had ever mentioned the station master's age. Xiao Yao always thought he was a rough man with a face full of stubble. Xiao Yao and his companions entered the bunker. Don't forget to close the door, the old man in front said without turning his head. Yes, boss. One of the yellow-haired men went to close the door, and even glanced at Xiao Yao, who nodded. Where is the yellow-toothed Xiao Liuzi? Sir, Xiao Liuzi. The yellow-haired man was about to say that Xiao Liuzi was killed by Xiao Yao. Sir, Xiao Liuzi was bitten to death by zombies. The thin man quickly took over the conversation and lied. Yes, Xiao Liuzi was accidentally bitten to death by zombies. Oh? Aren't all the nearby zombies led to the backyard? How come there are still some that slipped through the net? You can go and clean up in the afternoon. Yes, boss. Lock them in room B. I'm tired, so I'll leave the matter with Grandma to you. After the old man finished speaking, he went into a small room next door and closed the door. Several people looked at each other, not knowing what to do. Hey, sir, the station master is a little abnormal today. Yes, why doesn't he look fierce? Yes, he's not like this usually. Could it be that the station master has some conspiracy? Don't say it, be careful that the station master hears it. So what should we do now? Take me to the so-called room B first. Sir, we can't go to room B. Yes, room B is full of corpses, we can't stay there. How could that be? There are 2 survivors in room B. Hey, that's Grandma's food tonight. Grandma. What is that? Sir, come this way. The skinny guy pulled Xiao Yao and the others away from the station master's room. This Grandma is the station master's wife? Wife? Then why is she called Grandma? Sir, you don't know, the station master's wife is now a zombie and is locked in room A. Zombie. Well, the station master asked us to feed Grandma human flesh and blood once a day. The survivors locked in room B are the ones we captured. We were lucky to catch 2 survivors yesterday. Feed zombies? Do you think this is not a big deal? Aren't you afraid that the zombies will rush out and kill you all? Well, Your Excellency, you don't know that this grandmother zombie seems to still remember things from her previous life. Every time she goes crazy, as long as our station master goes to the door and says a few words, this grandmother zombie will become very calm. Yes, it's very weird. By the way, you also said that the station master's wife and children are here. Where are the station master's children? Your Excellency, you don't know that the station master's children wanted to kill the grandmother zombie before, but the station master didn't agree. The station master's children just ran away this morning and haven't come back yet. Oh, he ran away from home, that's fine. If he runs away from home at this time, he won't be afraid of being gnawed to bones by zombies. That's not right. Your station master is so old, his children must be at least 40 or 50 years old, right? Your Excellency, you don't know that our station master only got old after his wife turned into a zombie. In fact, the station master is only 38 years old. What? Xiao Yao was shocked. What the hell? Xiao Yao suddenly felt that the webmaster was quite pitiful. Chapter 265 Zombies stole my experience points. Pathetic. Xiao Yao shook his head. How could he have such an emotion? Although the station master became an old man because his wife turned into a zombie and he was depressed and unhappy, this was not enough to make up for his evil deeds of capturing other survivors to feed his wife. This station master must die, even if he becomes a white-haired old man. In this case, he should first arrange Yuzinaru so that he can let go of his hands and feet. After all, this station master has a gun in his hand. Let's go, take me to room A first. Xiao Yao made a prompt decision to go and see if this was just a zombie. After all, it was a zombie that had been fed with countless survivors. I'm afraid its level would not be low. Take a look and you'll have an idea. Squeak. The skinny guy pushed open a small door. Brother Hao is here. Brother Hao, have you found a few more survivors? Oh, and there's a woman? Can you give this to me, brother? I haven't tasted a woman for a long time. Don't worry, I can give you my treasured dog-leg knife. How about it, brother Hao? A drunk who was talking nonsense said a bunch of rude words in a daze. Swish. Xiao Yao raised his stick and slammed it down, and the greasy drunkard was killed by Xiao Yao with one move. You guys. The drunkard finally sobered up before he died. He felt as if he had offended someone he shouldn't have offended. He tried his best to cover his neck, but the artery was gushing out, like a broken water pipe. How could he cover it with his hands? Blood spurted out from the gaps between his fingers, as if it was free. Plop. The greasy skinny guy who spoke rudely fell directly to the ground, blood gushing out of his neck, spraying all over the wall, like graffiti, and then the fountain became lower and lower, and finally became a stream. After a while, the drunk skinny guy made a red carpet by himself. Don't kill me, don't kill me. A drunken dwarf next to him was so scared that he was pissing and shitting, and he had already sobered up. Sir, this is my brother, please let my brother go. The skinny guy who had followed him all the way now excused the drunk next to him. Xiao Yao glanced at him. In that case, spare his life, but you all remember it, whoever dares to disrespect my wife, even a dirty word, will die, remember. We remember it, sir. Several people bowed their heads and saluted with their fists, looking like dog slaves in the old society. Xiao Yao glanced at Yi, and saw that he also hurriedly saluted with his fists. Although they have been sentenced to death, it is not bad to keep them as dogs. Although with these dogs, they may worry about their betrayal, but if life is dull and without some excitement, how can it be? It is better to become zombies. Huh? I seem to have heard this sentence somewhere before. It seems that it was said by a Z. If you can't help, you have to make trouble and force yourself to add drama. Alice, I don't know how Izzy and others are doing, whether they are dead or alive. Why not go to the school to look for them? Maybe I can find Jinlian and Izzy, but 3 days doesn't seem to be enough. Forget it, I'll see you again if I'm lucky. Bang! A loud noise came from the side, which scared Xiao Yao. Yizunru was so scared that she hugged Xiao Yao's arm. Roar! A bulge was smashed out of the door of a room not far away, and a roar of zombies came from behind the door. Sir, it's Grandma. Oh no, Grandma has gone crazy again. Go find the station master. The yellow-haired man took 2 steps at a time and ran out to find the station master. Pa pa pa. Pa pa pa. Boss, Grandma has gone crazy again, come quickly. Squeak. The white-haired old man opened the door. Why are you in such a hurry? One by one. The white-haired old man walked unhurriedly to Xiao Yao and the others. Huh? Didn't I tell you to lock them up in room B? Why are they still outside? The station master saw that the survivors who had just been captured had not been locked up in room B, and he couldn't help but scold them. At this time, the station master found the body lying on the ground. Why did Xiao Bao die? Who did it? Did you do it? The white-haired old man glared at Xiao Yao. Sir, Xiao Bao was drunk and was joking with my brother. He accidentally committed suicide. Yes, boss, Xiao Bao was drunk and insisted on eating my shit. He even took off my pants and asked me to shit for him right there. Xiao Bao said he liked it warm. But, boss, how can you shit whenever you want? I refused to obey. Unexpectedly, Xiao Bao took out a dagger and threatened me, saying that if I couldn't poop, he would cut open my stomach and eat the shit himself. As a result, Xiao Bao fell down because he was drunk and didn't walk steadily. He happened to fall on his dagger and died. Boss, I'm sorry, it's my fault. If I had pooped a little earlier for Xiao Bao to eat, maybe Xiao Bao wouldn't have died. Oh, forget it, I don't agree with Xiao Bao's hobby of eating shit. Since he committed suicide, it can be regarded as justice for the shit in the world. After all, shit also has to reincarnate. Shit never thought that it would pass through human intestines for the second time in this life. Bang! 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 Roar! Several bulges were smashed on the door of room A. The white-haired old station master did not have time to deal with Xiao Yao and the others at this time. He had to calm the grandmother down first. The white-haired old man came to the door of room A and opened the small window above. Mother of the child, it's me. Did you miss me? I came to see you. Woo. The room suddenly became surprisingly quiet. Tisk. It really works. Xiao Yao was stunned by the scene in front of him. It seems that zombies can really remember some things from their lifetime. Roar. Damn it, I know I have neglected you all these years. I have been working and have no time to accompany you. You finally came to see me once, but it was the end of the world. But now it's good. We can be together every day, I can accompany you every day, and I don't have to work overtime anymore. Roar. Damn it, I know you miss Yu. Yu went out to play and may not be able to come back to see you for a while. Let me prepare dinner for you first. You know? This dinner is for a little girl as cute as Yu. She was caught yesterday. In order to make her intestines thinner and empty the feces inside, I deliberately starved her for 2 days. I will bring her to you to eat. Wait for me. Roar. The zombie inside roared again. Damn it, don't worry, it's in the next room, I will be back soon. The station master was silent before he finished speaking. Xiao Yao and the others who were standing not far away and watching the station master were so surprised that they were speechless. At this moment, they saw a javelin shot out from the small window above the gate, and the javelin went straight through the station master who was still lying on the small window and talking. Then the javelin was instantly retracted, directly bringing the station master's head to the small window, and then the station master fell down softly. Fuck, Xiao Yao was stunned by what he saw. This was experience points. Xiao Yao remembered that killing the same kind would gain 10 times the experience points. This zombie actually stole my experience points. It's simply unforgivable. Chapter 266, Gossip Zombie. Ah! Run away! Someone shouted, and then the shocked people scattered in just a few seconds. Only Xiao Yao and Yuzhenru were left standing at the door. Husband, how about we run away too? Wife, don't be afraid, I'm here. I'm a little afraid of hot weapons, but as for zombies, so far, I haven't encountered any zombies that are difficult to kill, and this one is no exception. Next to it is room B. Xiao Yao doesn't have the key, but this doesn't bother him. After all, he has the lock-picking skill and can ignore almost any locked door. Pop! After unlocking the door, Xiao Yao opened the door. Oh my god, what a smell in this room. Xiao Yao originally wanted Yuzhenru to stay in this room temporarily, and then he would kill the zombies first. Unexpectedly, the room was simply terrible. A fishy stench rushed towards him, pushing Xiao Yao out directly. The room was pitch black and he couldn't see anything. Xiao Yao turned on the night vision directly. Zizzy. A green light flashed, and the situation in the entire small room became clear at a glance. There was a pile of corpses in the corner of the left side of the room, and the blood of the corpses had already flowed across half of the room. In the rightmost corner, a little girl was holding a lying man. At this time, the man's health was almost empty, and he looked like he was unconscious. The little girl still had a lot of health, but when Xiao Yao opened the door, she didn't even raise her head. Xiao Yao took out a bottle of red ginseng soup and threw it next to the little girl. "Hurry up and give this man this drink, otherwise he will die soon. I'll let this sister stay here for a while, I have things to do outside. Xinru, wait for me here, I'll get rid of the zombies right away." "Well, go ahead, I can do it. Take this kitchen knife, if anyone wants to harm you, just kill them." "Well, I got it, husband, you go quickly." After Xiao Yao finished speaking, he glanced at the little girl in the distance, only to see her turn her head woodenly, glance at the red ginseng soup that Xiao Yao threw over, and then glanced at Xiao Yao. What kind of eyes were these, with a dead look in them? Don't act like someone's dead. The person in your arms is not dead yet, and if you don't give him this drink, he's really going to die. I've said this, you can drink it or not. After Xiao Yao finished speaking, he turned around and walked out of room B and closed the door. Xinru has a knife, and her health is more than those two people combined, so it shouldn't be a big problem. Instead of letting Xinru escape outside, Xiao Yao wanted Xinru to stay in the smelly room for a while. At least, it was safer here. Who knows if those people outside would turn against him and control Xinru. Xiao Yao went out and glanced outside. At this time, he didn't know where they had escaped to. Not long ago, they had vowed to follow him, but now they ran away and there was no trace of them. Husband and wife are birds of the same forest. When disaster strikes, they fly away separately. What's more, these strangers who only met once, let them jump around for a while. Xiao Yao looked back at the next room A, and saw that the head of the station master had exploded directly, and the red and white brain matter had flowed all over the floor. There was also a newly made red carpet on the floor, and not far away was the station master's inseparable pistol. Xiao Yao quietly squatted down, slowly moved over, approached the corpse of the station master, and picked up the pistol that was already stained with blood. Reconnaissance, low-quality pistol, plus 80 attack, maximum effective range 100 meters, shooting interval 0.3 seconds, durability 30-30. This is too bad, Xiao Yao played with this low-quality pistol. The name of this pistol has the word low quality in it. It is obvious that it is not produced by a regular manufacturer. It may be a product that Bing Zixi sells for 9.9 yuan and free shipping. However, Bing Zixi certainly doesn't dare to sell guns. This is probably a small advertisement on the wall on the roadside, produced by a small workshop on the black market. It's a pity that the station master is dead, otherwise I would find out where he bought it from and wipe out the small workshop that produces this low-quality pistol. Although the attack power is low, don't forget that Xiao Yao's basic attack attribute is high. Ordinary people can only deal 160 damage with this inferior pistol, but Xiao Yao can deal 556 damage. Although the damage is much lower, it is a long-range weapon after all. Killing enemies 100 meters away is not a problem. Oh, I forgot, the maximum effective range of this pistol is only 100 meters. Bang! Xiao Yao, who was squatting next to the corpse and studying the inferior pistol in his hand, was startled by the sound of the heavy blow. At this time, the door of room A next door was hit by an unknown force. Every time it hit, a high bulge appeared on the iron door. Bang! Bang! The sound of hammering the door continued. Xiao Yao slowly stepped back a few steps and moved away from the door of room A. However, in order to deal the maximum damage with a pistol, Xiao Yao did not move far away. Standing 5 meters away from room A, Xiao Yao raised the inferior pistol in his hand and aimed it at the door of room A. Bang! A huge force was heard, and the big metal door was blown away. The flying big iron door took the body of the station master at the door and flew far away, hitting the table not far away. Several plates and wine bottles on the table were knocked to the ground and smashed to pieces, and the little food left on the plate also fell to the ground. Bang! The door hit the opposite wall and fell down. Click! Click! Then a disheveled zombie came out of room A. Xiao Yao was stunned for a moment and forgot to shoot, because there was a long scarlet object hanging from the mouth of this zombie. What was that? Roar! The scarlet object hanging from the zombie's mouth flew out and accurately hit the corpse of the station master lying under the opposite table. That was the position of the heart. Then the scarlet long object was instantly retracted, with a red heart rolled at the end. The scarlet long object was quickly pulled into the zombie's mouth, and then the zombie burped. This is a tongue? It can actually stretch out more than 2 meters. Xiao Yao quietly stepped back a few steps. Just now, he thought it was a javelin used by the zombie inside, but it turned out to be a tongue. This tongue is actually more than 2 meters long. This is a real long-tongued woman. Reconnaissance, zombie level 15 combat power 500 health 2000 bang. Xiao Yao finally recovered and shot directly at the zombie's head. System, congratulations to the host for understanding the shooting skill. Bang. Roar. The shot was so accurate that it broke a light bulb on the zombie's head. You know, the light bulb was not on. Xiao Yao shook his right hand. The recoil of this inferior pistol was quite strong. Xiao Yao didn't hold it firmly and the shot went astray. Although the shot didn't hit the zombie, it successfully attracted the zombie's attention. Roar. The zombie turned around and roared at Xiao Yao, revealing a pale face and disheveled hair. It was exactly Sadako's reincarnation, except that the hair of the female zombie in front of him was yellow-brown. Whoosh! A sound of breaking wind was heard, and a scarlet object appeared in Xiao Yao's field of vision, getting bigger and bigger. No, I dodge. Xiao Yao quickly dodged to the side and successfully avoided the zombie's tongue. He had underestimated the length of the zombie's tongue. Even though she was standing 5 meters away, her tongue could still attack this side. She was really a real gossip. The gossip's tongue hit the wall behind Xiao Yao directly, and then the long tongue missed the target and softened directly. Then the long tongue was quickly retracted and drooped at the zombie's mouth. The long tongue could even droop directly to the ground. Bang! Xiao Yao fired again, puff. This time he luckily hit the zombie's chest, causing 278 damage, successfully arousing the anger of the gossip zombie. It seems that the chest is not a weak point to attack, so there is no critical hit at all. There is no way. Playing with a defensive gun is harder than he thought. He always misses the target even though he is aiming at it. Swoosh! The long tongue shot at Xiao Yao again. Xiao Yao quickly dodged to the other side and fired another shot at the long-tongued zombie. Not good. Xiao Yao didn't expect that he would be tricked by the zombie this time. The long tongue of the long-tongued zombie did not soften. After he dodged it, it turned around. Now Xiao Yao was directly wrapped by the long-tongued zombie's tongue, circle after circle. At this time, Xiao Yao could no longer lift his arms. I was careless. This long-tongued zombie actually played tricks on me. I kill zombies all day, but I was tricked by the zombies. Chapter 267, Being Teased by a Female Zombie. In the dim bunker, the torches on the wall had gradually dimmed. At this moment, Xiao Yao was being tied up like a dumpling by the gossip monster's long tongue. He felt that he was being pulled by the gossip monster's long tongue. Although he was very reluctant, Xiao Yao's body was slowly being pulled towards the gossip monster. Xiao Yao tried his best but couldn't get rid of the tongue of the long-tongued woman. This tongue could make a protruding tongue on the big iron gate. Although it was a tongue, the power contained in it should not be underestimated. Xiao Yao was close and finally saw the face of the long-tongued woman zombie. At this time, the long-tongued woman's face was as if it had been smeared with white dash. The miserable white face had already peeled off. The long-tongued woman's mouth was wide open. Because the long tongue was still tied to her, the long-tongued woman zombie had no way to close her mouth. At this time, the saliva in the mouth of the long-tongued woman zombie seemed to be secreted particularly vigorously. The saliva in its mouth flowed down the long tongue like a stream of spring water, and a fishy smell came to her face. Giggle, giggle. When the long-tongued woman zombie saw Xiao Yao close at hand, her white eyes actually showed a smile, and bursts of weird giggles came from the depths of her throat. The gossipy zombie stretched out a claw and slowly approached Xiao Yao's face. The nails on the claws of the gossipy zombie were very long as the length of the fingers, and then gently scratched Xiao Yao's face. A blood mark instantly appeared on Xiao Yao's face, and bright red blood flowed down. The action of this zombie made Xiao Yao a little unpredictable. It seemed that it was playing with him. He was a werewolf who had killed countless zombies, but he was teased by a female zombie. This was intolerable. What was most unacceptable was that this was a very old female zombie. Xiao Yao didn't like it. At this time, the long tongue that bound Xiao Yao slowly loosened, and the long tongue slowly retracted into the mouth of the long-tongued woman. The long-tongued woman stretched out her tongue to lick the nail that had just scratched Xiao Yao's face, and then licked around her mouth with her long tongue, as if she was eating nectar. Xiao Yao could see that the long-tongued woman zombie showed a satisfied expression, and Xiao Yao sighed in his heart. Fuck. This long-tongued woman zombie would not be superb after licking a little of his blood. Xiao Yao took this opportunity to quickly step back. He was careless just now, and he couldn't let its long tongue wrap around him again. The feeling of being controlled just now was really unpleasant. Xiao Yao didn't want to try again. Swoosh! The long tongue that had just been retracted shot towards Xiao Yao's body again in an instant. Looking at the direction, this time it was the direction of Xiao Yao's heart. It was said that it was too late, and Xiao Yao's agility attribute was pitifully low. At this time, he was only 1 meter away from the long-tongued woman, and he couldn't dodge the long-tongued woman's attack at all. I can't die. This was the silent cry from the depths of Xiao Yao's heart. At this time, Xiao Yao used all his strength to move a little to the left, but only a little. Puff! The long tongue instantly pierced Xiao Yao's chest. Fortunately, the long tongue did not attack the heart, but switched to the right side of the chest. At this time, Xiao Yao used his left hand to grab the long tongue that was still in his body, making it impossible for the long-tongued woman to retract the long tongue, and then raised the pistol in his right hand. Go to hell. You dead pervert. Bang! 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 At such a close distance, if Xiao Yao still couldn't hit the enemy, then he could just die. Every shot into the head, and directly sent this long-tongued zombie to reincarnation. Hiss! A sharp pain came from his chest. Xiao Yao touched the long tongue that had softened in front of him. There were countless mucus on it, just like aloe vera gel. Xiao Yao instantly got goosebumps all over his body. Damn, this long tongue is still in his body. Xiao Yao used both hands to slowly pull out the long tongue that pierced his body. Every inch of his skin could feel a soft tissue being slowly pulled out of his body. Fortunately, the long tongue of this long-tongued woman was relatively tough and was not broken halfway. If it broke in his body, Xiao Yao would feel sick to death just thinking about it, and he wanted to faint immediately. Gudong gudong. The pierced chest instantly lost 300 health points, plus the terrifying blood loss of 10 per second. Xiao Yao was now drinking red ginseng soup frantically to hide blood. Squeak. After finally recovering a little health, Xiao Yao got up, used all his strength, opened the door of room B, and then collapsed directly at the door. Hubby. Yi Xinru, who was waiting anxiously inside, ran out quickly and supported Xiao Yao, who was sweating profusely. Hubby, don't scare me. Yi Xinru felt that her eyes were blurred in an instant, and tears poured out like money. She cried like a tearful person in an instant. At this time, there was a big hole in Xiao Yao's chest away from his heart, and blood was still flowing out of it crazily. At this time, Xiao Yao's whole body was like a bloody person, and the whole ground had begun to make a red carpet. It's okay, I won't die. Help me bandage the wound quickly, or I will really die if I don't bandage it. Hubby, I'll bandage it now, wait for me. Yi Xinru hurriedly took out a bandage from her school bag. There were not many bandages left. The last wound had not yet healed, and now there was a new wound. In order to make it easier to bandage, Yi Xinru directly cut open Xiao Yao's shirt with a knife. There was no other way. At this time, Xiao Yao no longer had any strength to take off his shirt. Looking at the shocking wound on Xiao Yao's body, Yi Xinru bandaged Xiao Yao's wound while crying. Silly girl, I really can't die. I have red ginseng soup. I'm fine. Xiao Yao really has no strength left, but in order to stay alive, he is now forcing himself to hang on with his spirit. The red ginseng soup in his hand is like a huge hammer worth 1,000 gold coins, so heavy that he can't even lift it. Character, weakness, all attributes are reduced by 90%, which lasts for 24 hours. Xiao Yao only noticed that he had another state at this time, weak. All attributes were reduced by 90%. Xiao Yao took a look and found that his current attributes were even lower than before the end of the world. In other words, anyone can kill him with bare hands now. However, it's okay, at least he is not in a state of losing blood. Otherwise, it would be a desperate situation if he couldn't catch up with the blood loss no matter how much red ginseng soup he drank. This 24-hour weak state is also fatal to Xiao Yao at this time. After all, he only has 3 days. Excluding these 24 hours, he only has 2 days. It seems that the time to go to the city center is not enough. Forget it. There must be a way when the car reaches the mountain. Let's take it one step at a time. After a while, Yi Xinru finished bandaging. With the wound on the right chest today and the wound on the left back, Xiao Yao's chest was now tied with an X-shaped bandage, which looked like the X-shaped tube tops of tall beauties at parties. Puff Yizinaru couldn't help laughing when she saw Xiao Yao's bandaged look. Why, you can still laugh when I'm so seriously injured. I'm sorry, husband, I really couldn't help it. You look like a conceited fat woman if you were a wig now. Yizinaru really couldn't help it. After all, Xiao Yao's fat body, coupled with the X-shaped bandage, Xiao Yao's chest was actually squeezed out like a groove. You. Xiao Yao raised his hand and wanted to pat Yizinaru's head, but he felt that the action of raising his hand, which was usually effortless, became so difficult at this time. Does he need to use a wheelchair to travel now? Xinru, you hold this gun. Husband, you should hold it. I'm scared. You hold it. I can't hold anything now. I'm a useless person now. Husband, what's the matter? Has your health not recovered yet? Do you want to drink more red ginseng soup? It's okay, I will be able to recover in 24 hours, but within these 24 hours, I may need you to protect me. Hubby, I'm afraid I can't do it well. It's okay, with a pistol, they won't dare to do anything rash. I'm sorry, benefactor, although I don't want to disturb you, but I really heard your conversation. Suddenly, a man's voice with full energy came from the room, which scared Xiao Yao. Yizinaru walked to the side, and a tall man walked out of the dim room. This man was so tall that he almost reached the roof, but under the thin clothes, there was only a skinny body. He slowly walked to Xiao Yao's side, and then knelt down on one leg. Thank you for the medicine, benefactor. Xia Binghe is willing to be your slave for 10 years to repay your life-saving grace. Who? Xia Binghe. Chapter 268. Without an indestructible body, how dare you touch the 3,000 beauties in the harem? My benefactor, my name is Xia Bingbao, and this is my sister Xiao Yao. After the big man finished speaking, a little girl followed him and knelt down on her knees. Thank you for the medicine you gave me just now. I saved my brother. Xiao Yao is willing to be your slave for 10 years to repay you for saving my brother's life. Xia Yao. Xiao Yao murmured in a low voice, are you the Xiao Yao by the Daming Lake? By the Daming Lake? My benefactor, I was born by the Chu Shui River. I don't know what Daming Lake. Oh, Chu Shui River, it looks like you're not that Xiao Yao. Xiao Yao didn't want to accept any slaves. He had too many secrets and was not suitable to be with strangers, especially these two people who came from unknown places. The reason why he threw a bottle of red ginseng soup to them was more because he had no shortage of red ginseng soup. 20 yuan a bottle was like a drizzle. Saving people was just a piece of cake, so why not do it? Benefactor? Benefactor. Husband? What's wrong with you? Don't scare me. I'm fine, I was just thinking about something. Please accept us, benefactor. Please accept us, benefactor. You guys get up first, I don't need any servants, and I'm used to being lazy. I don't want a large group of people around me. Benefactor, please be sure to accept us, please rest assured, we will never disturb the lives of you and your wife. We are only 5 meters away from you, benefactor, you just need to call us if you have any needs. You can treat us as transparent at ordinary times. Transparent. Xiao Yao glanced at the big man in front of him. With your height, how can I be transparent? And your words seem familiar to Xiao Yao. Didn't Lu Chuxu and Hao Niubi say that they would follow me 5 meters away? What happened later? They finally turned against us and joined forces with the remaining survivors to drive Xiao Yao away. You get up first. I'm not used to people kneeling to talk to me. We won't get up unless our benefactor agrees. Since you like to kneel, then kneel down. Xinru, help me up. Xiao Yao was supported by Yizinaru and slowly walked to the table next to them. Xiao Yao sat on the chair. Xia Bingbao and Xiao Yao were still kneeling in room B. Husband, why don't you accept them? They are quite pitiful. They were captured and used as food by zombies. Fortunately they met you and survived. They may really want to repay you. Repay a favor? What is repaying a favor? Is it repaying a favor to forcibly change my will by kneeling down? This is revenge. Even if you want to repay a favor, do you need such an unfounded title? And slaves, is it fun to lower your status? Or do you think I'm the kind of pervert who enjoys being called master? Isn't it? Yizinaru said, looking at Xiao Yao's face with a smile, and then quietly leaned close to Xiao Yao's ear. Master, her breath was as sweet as orchid, like dandelions dancing in his ear. Fuck, you are playing with fire. What do you think? You still like this perverted feeling, Right. Okay, Xinru, you win. This weird feeling is really comfortable. However, you also know that I am the public enemy now. Except for you and my parents, I don't trust anyone else, and I dare not trust them. So what? Didn't you say you wanted to recruit those people as lackeys? These lackeys must have someone to look after the dogs? Does your husband have so much time to look after the dogs? When did I say I wanted to recruit those people as lackeys? I think these two people are more reliable than those people. If you want to recruit lackeys, these two people are more reliable, right, master? Xinru whispered in Xiao Yao's ear again. Xinru, I'm warning you, if you play with fire again, be careful of my family rules. Haha, come on, I'm afraid of you. It was you who said that. Now you don't even have the strength to hold a gun. Do you still have the strength to do anything else? I don't care. Anyway, there are only cows that die of exhaustion, but no fields that are damaged by plowing, my good master. Fuck. Xiao Yao turned his head away, no longer looking at Xinru's teasing eyes. I can't bear it. Master, the two of them are still kneeling. You really aren't tempted? After all, there are two slaves. Can't you order them to do any dirty work? Kneel if you want to. Don't worry about them. Xiao Yao said, no longer looking at them, nor at Xinru. Although he saved them, but the number of people Xiao Yao has saved is already too many to count. But how many people really want to repay him? They just have their own little plans, because Xiao Yao is strong enough, because following him can allow them to survive in this doomsday full of zombies, so that they can have food and drink and not starve. Repaying a favor, haha, what a ridiculous word. To live a miserable life and find a backer to survive, is said so noble. Don't think Xiao Yao can't see the real purpose of these two people. Although Xiaobinghe is tall, he looks skinny and it is obvious that he has not eaten for a long time. What can he do? Besides being such a big target, it is easier to attract zombies. Xiao Yao can't think of what this big guy can do. He also needs to provide food. He can't let them follow him and starve. As for the little girl, although she is not as thin as the big guy, she doesn't look like an adult. Xiao Yao doesn't want to recruit child labor. In summary, Xiao Yao can't find a reason to take them in. They are completely a burden. Xiao Yao doesn't want to do charity. After all, he still has a mission. Xiao Yao finds the friend list. If he is really willing to repay the favor, he should be able to know it by looking at the favor ability. Xiaobinghe. 2020 Xiao Yu. 2020 Huh? Xiao Yao was really surprised to see the favor ability of Xiaobinghe and Xiao Yu. They were indeed brother and sister, but their favor ability was surprisingly consistent, and they both reached a favor ability of 2020. You know, this was under the negative impact of public enemy. If the 1000 minus was added, they could all exceed 3000. Even Xinru's own wife only had 5210. Xiao Yao even thought that even if he asked this little girl to be his second wife, she would probably agree. However, Xiao Yao glanced at Xinru next to him and decided to forget it. It's easy to open the door of the harem, but if you want to close it again, I'm afraid there is no end at all. After all, if you have one, you will want a second one. If you have a second one, you want to take the woman you like for yourself. You know, the emperor has 3000 beauties in the harem, but they can't satisfy him. With such a life of luxury, even if Xiao Yao has an indestructible body, I'm afraid he will die young. After all, there are almost no long-lived emperors, and Xiao Yao hasn't lived enough. With my current abilities, starting a harem is really just a matter of thought. One thought can lead to heaven or hell. Chapter 269, The Lackeys Must Rush to Do It. Sister, do you think that the benefactor is testing us, or does he really not want to accept us? Brother, how should I know this? However, I feel that the benefactor really doesn't like us like this. My knees hurt so much when I kneel down. I remember. No, keep kneeling. I must repay the benefactor for saving my life. Besides, didn't you notice that the benefactor is very fat? Brother, of course I saw it. The benefactor is comparable to you before, but later I gave me the food I found, so you are getting thinner and thinner now. It has been so long since the disaster, and the benefactor is still in such a good figure. This shows a problem. The benefactor has no shortage of food. Following him, we will not suffer any loss. At least we can guarantee to eat enough. Brother, so this is what you think. This is only one aspect. Of course, more importantly, I really want to repay the benefactor's kindness. If it weren't for the magical drink he gave me, I'm afraid I would be a corpse now. Brother, I beg you to promise me that you will not hurt yourself again in the future. Even if I die of thirst or hunger, I will never drink your blood to survive. Silly sister, as long as you can survive, it's worth it even if I die. Brother, don't say that. If you disregard your own safety again next time, I swear that I will go with you. There is no way back to the sky or the underworld, and I am willing to go with you until death. Silly sister, I promise I won't do it next time. We make a pinky promise and never change it for 100 years. Yes, 100 years, never change. Xiao Bingbao held his sister's hand with a loving face. This was his only relative in this world. If there was a next time, Xiao Bingbao would definitely risk his life for his sister again without hesitation. However, he might have to hide it from Xiao Yao. With his sister's character, she might really do something irreversible. Not long ago, my sister choked while eating a hard steamed bun and almost died. The person guarding the cell door only gave her half a bottle of orange urine. However, even if it meant death, he would not let my sister drink other people's urine. So, Xiao Bingbao cut his wrist and gave his blood to my sister to drink, which barely prevented her from choking to death. However, due to excessive bleeding, Xiao Bingbao fainted. After that, he met Xiao Yao and the others. He drank the red ginseng soup that Xiao Yao threw down and barely woke up. Fortunately, the artery was not cut, otherwise no amount of red ginseng soup could save Xiao Bingbao's life. Strictly speaking, this is really a life-saving favor. Xiao Bingbao looked at the benefactor in the distance, and the benefactor had no intention of looking at this side. Could it be that the benefactor thinks that I am not sincere when I said I would be your slave for 10 years? Brother, maybe it is really as you said, 10 years, maybe the benefactor thinks I am not sincere. But, it's the end of the world, and every day of survival is trembling and treading on thin ice. 10 years is the longest time I think we can survive. I'm afraid we can't live for 10 years. In that case, let's say it's a lifetime. Anyway, we are not sure how long we will live. Silly sister, you are still young, you can live longer. Brother, you may not understand what I mean. When I said go with you, I mean that no matter whether you give up your life to save me in the future, I, your sister, will definitely go with you. You. Are you scared, my good brother? I'm scared of you. That's good. Don't have such thoughts again. You have to understand one thing, if your brother dies, your sister will never live alone, no matter what the reason for your death, whether you were bitten to death by zombies, killed by others, starved to death, or committed suicide. In short, as long as your brother is gone, your sister will not live alone. Okay, brother promises you that he will cherish his own life as much as he cherishes yours. Are you satisfied now? I'm satisfied. You must remember this. Oh. Xiao Bingbao turned his head and no longer looked at Xiao Yao. It seemed that he had to cherish his life. However, things were unpredictable. He could not even feed his sister, so how could he guarantee her survival? He had to find someone who could be his sister's support, and the benefactor in front of him was Xiao Bingbao's only and most suitable candidate. But, this benefactor, is he really unwilling to accept me? After thinking about it, Xiao Bingbao knelt down and moved outside to Xiao Yao's side. Why, you want to force me to take you in again? I said, I don't need you to repay me, you are free now, you can go wherever you want, you don't have to stay by my side to repay me, really, I don't need slaves. Xiao Yao saw that Xiao Bingbao actually moved to his side on his knees. Why, he couldn't stand it after kneeling for only a few dozen minutes. It seems that his patience is average. Bang! 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 The big man kowtowed to Xiao Yao 3 times, his forehead was broken and blood was dripping. Xiao Yao didn't say anything. What does this mean? Self-torture? And it's upgraded? Xiao Yao was silent, waiting to see what trick he was up to. Xiao Bingbao thanks you for saving my life. Maybe you misunderstood our intention. We have no other intentions. We just want to stay with you to repay you for saving our lives. Before, we said that we would be your servants for 10 years, which might make you feel that we were not sincere enough. Xiao Bingbao is now willing to stay with you for the rest of your life, and be your slave. I only hope that you can agree to one thing for Xiao Bingbao. If you don't agree, get out of here. Fuck you. I thought this guy had let it go. He said he would be your slave for the rest of his life. It sounded quite sincere. I didn't expect that I had to agree to a condition from him. I would go wherever I could make a fortune. Xiao Yao didn't want to bear a promise for the rest of his life. Oh, benefactor, Please let Xiaobingbao finish his words, okay? I don't want to listen, you bastard, get out of here. Oh, Pucci. Yi Xinru next to him couldn't help laughing out loud. Xiao Yao behind him also covered her mouth with laughter. Seeing her brother's frustrated look, she couldn't help laughing. Benefactor. Stop talking. If you want to work like a slave for me for the rest of my life, I will accept you. If you want me to agree to any conditions, turn right and say goodbye. Oh, benefactor, I don't have any other requests. I just want you to take care of my younger sister. If you can take care of my younger sister, Xiaobinghe won't frown even if he dies immediately. Xiaobinghe, right? I tell you clearly that I will not take care of your younger sister. I won't give her a penny. If there is any care, it should be done by you as her brother. I have nothing to do with your sister. I hope you understand this. But, no buts. Taking care of your sister is your responsibility, not mine. So I'm sorry that I can't agree to your condition. At this time, several furtive figures appeared at the door of the bunker. Several people who had already scattered heard that there was no movement below, so they quietly came back to see what was going on. If the zombies won, they would definitely escape from the bunker directly, but if Xiao Yao won, then they could continue to stay in the bunker. After all, Xiao Yao promised them that he would choose someone to be the boss. With the safety and food storage of the bunker, this is definitely a doomsday fortress. Surviving until the end of the doomsday is not a problem, but they are all afraid of death, and no one is willing to be a pathfinder, so, several of them came down together. Huh? The zombies seem to have been killed. Really? Let me see? Oh my god, they were really killed. Could it be that the master killed them? That's right, the master must have killed them. Then several people quickly ran in and knelt down in front of Xiao Yao, who was still sitting on the chair. We are willing to be your lackeys and let you do whatever you want. Please accept us. Oh, Xiaobinghe next to him was stunned at this time. What was going on? Why did several people rush to be lackeys? What a mess. Someone actually came to grab the position. No, I must be the first one to pledge my loyalty. My benefactor, Xiaobinghe is willing to be your slave for the rest of my life. I have no complaints. If I violate it, the gods and the people will be indignant. Please accept Xiaobinghe. Then Xiaobinghe kowtowed directly. Oh, several people next to him looked at Xiaobinghe in front of him. This guy actually said that being a lackey was so noble? He even swore? It was simply a step-shaking billion. Chapter 270, Top Running Dog Xiaobinghe. My benefactor, Xiaobinghe is willing to serve you like a slave for the rest of my life, without any complaints. If I disobey, I will be indignant to both humans and gods, and I will be struck by thunder. Please accept Xiaobinghe. Then Xiaobinghe kowtowed to Xiao Yao 3 times again. Bang! 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 After 3 loud kowtows, the broken forehead was bleeding again, and the blood flowed down between his eyes. Now Xiaobinghe's face was full of blood, like a warrior who had just returned from the battlefield, which frightened the people next to him. Oh my god, this brother really wants to be a lackey, and in order to be a lackey, he doesn't care about his life. I didn't expect that the big brother in front of me would be so cruel. He would not even care about his life. They actually imprisoned such a werewolf, and I was a little scared when I thought about it. It was also thanks to the station master's pistol that the werewolf in front of him was frightened. Several people looked at each other in bewilderment. They were just doing what Xiao Yao had said before. Whoever was obedient and a lackey would be the boss here. And there was also the yamen pistol. However, they were not sincere enough to break their heads. After all, the werewolf in front of them had already broken his head. If they didn't break it, it would be meaningless. For a moment, several people didn't know whether to stand up or not. If they kowtowed, they certainly couldn't kowtow as hard as the werewolf next to them. But if they didn't kowtow, the position of the boss might be replaced. Several people were hesitant and didn't know what to do. They had to do the same as the others in the background. They didn't know whether to stand up or kowtow. They just knelt there and watched the show. Xiao Yao was in a daze again at this moment, because when Xiaobinghe expressed his loyalty, the system prompt also appeared in time. System, Xiaobinghe voluntarily became the host slave. To sign a slave contract, the master needs to retain 100 mental power. Do you want to retain 100 mental power and sign a slave contract with Xiaobinghe? Slave contract? Retain mental power? What is this? System, slave contract. As the master, you have the right to decide the life and death of the slave. You can set 4 forms: combat, automatically attack enemy units within a 10-meter radius of the master; alert, alert the master within a 10-meter radius, and only take counterattack measures when the enemy unit attacks the master; exile, cancel the slave contract, the slave automatically becomes an exile, and the favorability with the master is reset to 0, and kill, detonate the slave contract and directly kill the slave. 80% of the experience points of the enemy units killed by the slave belong to the master, and the maximum level of the slave cannot exceed 10 levels of the master. Mental power retention. The signing of the slave contract requires the master to retain 100 mental power. This 100 mental power is in a frozen state and cannot be used for any functions that require consumption, such as releasing skills. Exile the slave or kill the slave raw, and the reserved mental power is automatically returned. Xiao Yao was very fortunate that the system was willing to explain this function to him. This explanation can be said to be the longest explanation Xiao Yao has ever seen. The slave contract is quite interesting. At least, Xiao Yao has absolute control over the slaves, and the power of life and death is at his fingertips. Xiaobinghe, right. Xiaobinghe is here. You have to think it through. As my slave, I have the final say over your life and death. Even if I ask you to die, you can't disobey me. Are you willing? My benefactor, you saved my life. Even if you ask me to die now, I won't frown. Let me ask you one more question. Once you become my slave, there is no turning back. Do you regret it? My benefactor, Xiaobinghe, will never regret it. Okay, in that case, I will accept you as my slave. I hope you won't let me use the function of erasing. Then Xiao Yao silently said to the system, I agree to sign a slave contract with Xiaobinghe. System, congratulations to the host for signing a slave contract with Xiaobinghe. Now you need to drop a drop of Xiaobinghe's blood into the palm of the master's hand, and the contract will be completed. So troublesome? Xiaobinghe, I need a drop of your blood now. Come on, drip it on my palm. Xiao Yao stretched out his right hand. A drop of blood. Xiaobinghe was stunned for a moment, then picked up a dogleg knife on the ground, wiped the blood on the dogleg knife on the corpse next to him, and then cut his palm. The bright red blood dripped out directly, and Xiaobinghe dripped a few drops on Xiao Yao's palm. System, the slave contract is completed. System, congratulations to the host for obtaining the first slave, and the slave function is enabled. The moment the contract was completed, Xiao Yao saw a blue beam of light appear above Xiaobinghe's head, and then sank into his head. Then Xiao Yao found that a small avatar appeared under his character avatar, and it was Xiaobinghe's avatar. He saw that his health value is not full at this time. Forget it, there are outsiders around, so let's talk about the red ginseng soup later. Okay, you are my number 1 lackey now, get up. Yes, benefactor. Call me master. Do you have any awareness of a servant? Yes, master. Xiaobinghe knows he was wrong. Well, the child is teachable. Well, master, please take care of my sister. Please don't be angry. What I mean is, if you have extra food, please give some to my sister. In this way, I won't frown even if I die for you. Xiao Xia, I won't say it again, but I will make an exception for you again. I will reiterate that I will not take care of your sister. I won't give her even a penny. It is your responsibility and obligation to take care of your sister. Don't think that by becoming my slave you can dump your sister, this burden, on me. I tell you clearly, no, you'd better live well for me. You have to take care of your sister yourself, do you understand? Master, but no buts. I won't let you do something to die. So, you'd better live well and don't fucking think about dying for others. Otherwise, I will never care whether your sister lives or dies. Now, take your sister outside. When I came, I found a lot of food on the table outside. You can go and eat some first. Don't look so skinny. If people get out, they will think I'm abusing my slaves. Yes, master. There's nothing for you to do here. Why don't you get out and eat? Yes, master, I'll get out now. Xiaobinghe pulled his sister who was still kneeling behind him and stood up and left the bunker. Before leaving, he looked at Xiao Yao with gratitude, but Xiao Yu was gritting his teeth at Xiao Yao at this time. Xiao Yao glanced at his friend list, only to see that Xiaobinghe's favorability had increased by 1,000, while Xiao Yu's had dropped by 1,000. It was up to him to decide whether to lower it or not. Anyway, I didn't want to accept her. She was just a burden. After Xiaobinghe and the others left, Xiao Yao glanced at his own mental power. It was more than 700, and with Xinaru's phoenix pendant, his mental power recovery ability was amazing. Then Xiao Yao glanced at the people next to him. Otherwise, should he accept them all? After all, their life and death could be decided in a single thought, which was much better than the so-called loyalty. What loyalty was needed? If any blind servant turned against me, I could kill him with a snap of my fingers. Would that feel good? I am now a complete Thanos. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271. The two brothers Xiaoji and Baron. Xiaobingbao led Xiao Yao out. Xiao Yao turned his head and glanced at the people kneeling beside him. There were 5 people in front of him, including Kai. Xiao Yao looked at them, and they all lowered their heads. Hey, you guys, why are you all silent now? Weren't you clamoring to be my lackeys just now? Why are you all silent now? No one said anything, or they didn't dare to say anything. It seems that you don't want to be my lackeys. In this case, I won't force you. Get up. Sir, it's not that we don't want to be your lackeys. The truth is, you just said that even if you let us die, we can't have any complaints. I'm sorry, we can't do it. The thin man kneeling in the front raised his head and said, Oh, you are afraid of this? I am not so cruel that I will let you die for no reason. If you honestly serve me as my lackeys and don't try to deal with me behind my back, I will not let you die. Sir, then I am willing to be your slave. Well, then just like that old Xia just now, swear an oath. Sir, do you need to swear too? Well, not only do you have to swear, you have to give me a drop of your blood. The thin guy hesitated for a moment, but when he thought of the stab that Xiao Yao had used that killed Xiao Liuzi in an instant, he made up his mind. Okay, I swear, Xiaoji, am willing to be your slave for the rest of my life, without any complaints. If I violate my promise, both humans and gods will be outraged, and I will be struck by lightning. Please accept Xiaoji, sir. Xiaoji? What a crappy name you have. Sir, my name is Xiaoji, not Xiaoji. Oh, the Xia in spring, summer, autumn and winter? The same surname as old Xia. No, I'm not the same Xia as Lao Xia. I'm the shrimp of Xia Wujing, the one who carried the load on the journey to the west. Fuck, are you kidding me? Are you trying to play word games to fool me? Sir, I dare not. Do it again? Can't you tell the difference between shrimp and sand? If you can't tell the difference, I'll cut off your tongue. What's the point of keeping it? Sir, I dare not. I swear again. Shaji, am willing to serve you like a cow and a horse for the rest of my life without any complaints. If I violate this, the gods and the people will be indignant and I will be struck by thunder. Please accept Shaji. System, Shaji is willing to become the host's slave. To sign the slave contract, the master needs to retain 100 mental power. Do you want to retain 100 mental power and sign a slave contract with Shaji? Yes. System, congratulations to the host for signing the slave contract with Shaji. Now you need to drop a drop of Shaji's blood into the palm of the master's hand, and the contract will be completed. Come on, give me a drop of your blood. Shaji cut his finger with a knife and dripped a drop of blood on Xiao Yao's palm. Another string of blue light waves burst out from Shaji's head and then sank into Xiao Yao's brow. Xiao Yao could feel that he was now in control of Shaji's life and death. He could make Shaji disappear in a moment, but Xiao Yao didn't dare to try. Shaji was quite tactful. It would be a pity if he really killed Shaji with a snap of his fingers. After retaining 100 mental power again, Xiao Yao now had 500 mental power available, which means that he could take in up to 4 more slaves. After all, he still had to keep some to release skills. Shaji, don't think about those messy and evil things in the future, otherwise, you will die miserably. Now, get up. Sir, I know. This is my younger brother, named Shabarang. Please accept him as well. Well, Shabarang, are you willing to be my slave? You should know that the condition of being a slave is that your life and death are in my hands. Do you regret it? Brother, I don't want to be someone else's slave. Shabarang said aggrievedly to his brother next to him. Brother, this man is a martial arts master, Don't you want to be with such a powerful man? This way you can survive in this doomsday. I haven't been a slave to others before, and I lived well. I don't want to do it. At the beginning, Big Brother, you said I could be a lackey, and my life and death would be in my own hands, but I can't be a slave to others. I'm sorry, Big Brother, I can't be a slave to others with you. Brother. You. Don't say any more, brother, that's it, I'm leaving, and you just be a slave to others. Even if you don't be a slave to others, I can still survive in this doomsday. After Shabarang finished speaking, he got up and walked outside. Sir, my brother may not understand you absolutely. I will go and persuade him. No need. Everyone has their own ambitions. You go and see your brother. If he wants to leave, give him some food. If he wants to stay, it doesn't matter if he doesn't become a slave. He can continue to survive here without being a slave. Thank you, sir. Yes. Xiao Yao nodded. This Shabalan was just a bit of a thorn. No matter if he was really a thorn, or wanted to impress Xiao Yao with such a proud role and the temperament of not bowing to the 5 pecks of rice, it would be a big mistake. Xiao Yao cares about the slave contract that can have absolute control over life and death, not the so-called loyalty. What about the 4 of you? Several people looked at each other. One of the yellow-haired people said tremblingly, Sir, I just want to be a lackey, but I don't want to be a slave. For matters of life and death, I still want to have the final say. What about you? Sir, we just want to be lackeys. The Yamen runner K. Xiao Yao, brother, if you can survive here without being a slave, then I won't be a slave for the time being. I'll just be a lackey like them. After all, I'm only staying here temporarily. Oh? Yamen runner K is only staying here temporarily. Well, to be honest, brother Xiao Yao, I escaped. I originally wanted to go get help, but I encountered a group of zombies halfway, so I had to flee here. When I have a chance, I will still go get help. Get help? Where to get? Where to save? We went to the military affairs department in the west of the city to get help. A group of people suddenly came to the Yamen runners department a few days ago. The leader subdued several of our Yamen runners in a few moves, and then occupied the entire Yamen runners department. I hid under the table at the time and escaped. I saw the opportunity and escaped. Subdued you in a few moves? Don't you have guns? Why are there no bullets in your guns? To be honest, we did fire our guns, but the bullets flew right off his body. He was wearing armor that was like an iron barrel, so the bullets had no effect on him. He captured one of our Yamen runners in a few shots. How could we shoot at our own colleagues? Armor that was like an iron barrel. Well, even the helmet only had an eye exposed. You know, we don't have much chance to fire our guns normally, so we couldn't hit that small hole at all. When it hit his body, it just made a jingling sound, and didn't cause any damage to him at all. Ignoring hot weapons? How can there be such an awesome thing? It's not that it ignores hot weapons, but the pistols of our Yamen runners are basically used to kill uniforms, not to kill targets, so their lethality is limited. If we go to the military affairs department to request reinforcements, then with the heavy firepower of the military affairs department, we can definitely penetrate his iron barrel armor easily. The military affairs department is in the west of the city? How far is it from here? About 20 kilometers. More than 20 kilometers. Even if we drive now, it will take a day to get there. So, I actually gave up. There aren't many people in the Yei division who don't say bad things about me behind my back. I know this in my heart. I don't really care about their life or death. I just can't bear to leave Xiao Chu. I'm sincere to Xiao Chu, but it's a pity that she never understands my heart. Just forget it. Xiao Yao didn't bother to pay attention to K Yei. But the person who occupied the Yei division made Xiao Yao curious. The armor that ignored the Yei's pistol. How much defense does it have? At least 100 defense value, or even more. From what K Yei said, it's still full body armor, which is interesting. Chapter 272, 3000 Weak Waters, only Zinaru's Bowl. Full body armor, and the defense value is at least 100 or more. This is a bit interesting. Xiao Yao tapped his fingers lightly on the table. His current defense value can be said to be almost nothing. If he can get this set of armor, then he will be really invincible, but he is in a weak state now. Now he can't go, he can only stay here for a day. Xiao Yao didn't know how much of K Yei's words were true and how much were false. The military affairs department probably existed, but Xiao Yao was not sure whether it was 20 kilometers west of the city. After all, Xiao Yao couldn't go to the west of the city, because his sister's place was in the southeast of the city. If he went to the west of the city, it would be completely the opposite, and time would not allow it. Xiao Yao didn't even have any hope for this military affairs department. It had been more than 10 days. If there were still people alive in the military affairs department, they would have rushed out with armored vehicles to sweep it. Xiao Yao glanced at the few people in front of him. You all get up, don't keep kneeling, don't your knees hurt? Thank you, sir. Several people slowly got up, and some of them even couldn't stand steadily and almost fell down. Since you all like to be lackeys, then I will accept you, but there must be a sense of ceremony. Sir, as long as it doesn't mean we die, we are willing to undergo any ceremony. Yes, sir. It's simple. You won't die. You don't even need to bleed. Great, sir. Please tell us what ceremony it is. Xinru, you go out first. Take the pistol. Anyone who dares to provoke us will be shot to death. Don't worry. The power of this pistol is average, but if it's a headshot, ordinary people can still be killed instantly. Okay, husband. Yi Xinru went out with a pistol. Whatever happened next might not be suitable for Yi Xinru to be present. Yi Xinru was not curious about what it was. Xiao Yao would not hide from her unless it was really not suitable for her to see. Now there are only a few of us. The ritual for me to make you become my lackeys is very simple. I will confiscate everything on you, including your underwear, including the tongue stud on your tongue, everything. This. Sir, can you change the conditions? This is the only condition, and anyone who does not do it can choose another way. Sir, what is the other way? Dead end. This. Several people looked at each other, and Huang Meo was the first to start taking off his pants. Wait, turn your back to me, I'm not that perverted, watch you guys take off your clothes. Oh. Several people complained in their hearts, not even leaving underwear, isn't this perverted? Several people turned around with the grievance. Huang Meo had already taken off his clothes and was trying to find a way to remove the tongue stud on his tongue. Several people next to him looked at each other and slowly began to take off their clothes. This kind of humiliation was even more uncomfortable than bleeding on their fingers. Xiao Yao had no other choice. For the sake of the life-restoring equipment on Kai, he could only resort to this last resort. After all, this could conceal the equipment on Kai and avoid attracting other people's attention. Then, while they were facing away from him, Xiao Yao took out 3 sets of exquisite canvas shoes, HP plus 56, durability 625/625 exquisite t-shirts, HP plus 87, durability 625/625. As for the exquisite headbands and exquisite wooden sticks that increase attack, Xiao Yao did not give them. Giving them canvas shoes and t-shirts that increase health was good enough. Giving them weapons would mean arming them to fight against him. After all, they did not sign a slave contract with him. Have you finished taking off your clothes? Put all your things on the ground and take a step forward. Several people took a step forward obediently. Xiao Yao checked Kai's pile of clothes from the back. Yakao shirt, plus 50 health, plus 10 defense, combat power plus 10, durability 225/250 Yakao pants, plus 50 health, plus 10 defense, combat power plus 10, durability 125/250 Yakao hat, plus 50 attack, combat power plus 50, durability 200/250. No life restoring equipment was found among several items. Could it be that there are other things that can restore life? Xiao Yao carefully checked the clothes and finally found a small badge on the left chest pocket of the Yamen runner's shirt. Yamen runner badge, plus 10 attack, plus 2 life recovery minute, plus 10 combat power, durability 666/999. Finally found it, a badge. Yamen runner's equipment had a lot of high attributes. This set of clothes was very useful for surviving all the way. Xiao Yao picked up the Yamen runner's shirt. The Yamen runner badge was directly pinned on the left chest of the Yamen runner's shirt. Xiao Yao took it off and put it in the palm of his hand. This Yamen runner badge was only as big as a thumb. If it weren't for this life-restoring Yamen runner badge, I'm afraid that Yamen runner would have died countless times. However, this badge is mine now. It just so happened that his clothes were all torn, so Xiao Yao put on this Yamen officer's coat, and it fit him quite well. He didn't know when the system was upgraded, and the clothing size became automatic. No matter how big the clothes were, They would fit him automatically when he put them on. This setting also saved Xiao Yao a lot of trouble. He pinned the Yamen officer badge on his left chest again, and put on the Yamen officer pants. After all, he didn't have pants with added attributes, and these Yamen officer pants just filled the gap in his equipment. But forget about this Yamen officer hat, it's not even worthy of carrying shoes for his spirit survivor helmet. After changing into Kai's coat and pants, Xiao Yao glanced at his status. His life recovery was raised to 8/minute again. After all, he had given this pink down jacket to Yuzhinro a long time ago. He took the time to drink 2 bottles of red ginseng soup to replenish his life value. Xiao Yao sat on the stool again. He almost died of exhaustion from the few steps he took just now. The equipment of the other 2 people was too rubbish, and Xiao Yao was too lazy to look at them. Okay, all of you turn around. Several people turned around slowly, covering certain parts of their bodies with their hands. This is the standard top and shoes for lackeys. You guys change into them, and change the rest of your clothes into your own. My clothes are all torn, Kay. Theirs are not as good as yours. Do you mind if I borrow them for a while? I don't mind. Kay cursed Xiao Yao 1,000 times in his heart. He didn't even leave him a pair of pants. What should he wear? Fortunately, he still had a pair of long johns to wear, otherwise he would be naked. After several people put on their clothes again, Xiao Yao shouted to the outside, Xinru, come in. Okay, all of you go out and do what you need to do. I'm going to stay in this bunker for a day. Don't bother me no matter what. Yes, sir. Well, go ahead. Xiao Yao waved his hand, signaling them to leave quickly. Several people wished they had another leg and fled out of the room. This was what they were looking forward to. They didn't expect Xiao Yao to stop them from bothering him. They were afraid that Xiao Yao would start to exercise his privileges and start to order them to work. Xinru came in at this time and saw that they were all wearing white t-shirts and familiar canvas shoes. Husband, why did you give them such good equipment? Hey, as an organization, we must have a uniform, so that it looks formal. Okay, you are the boss, you have the final say. By the way, I have a question. I wanted to ask you just now. Why are you so cold to Xiaobingbao? He is your slave, can't you take care of his sister? In this way, he will be more loyal to you. Xinru, do you believe me? I believe you, you are my husband, who else can I believe if I don't believe you? The reason why I was so heartless to Xiaobingbao was to force him to let him live. No one will take care of his sister after he dies, so he will try every means to survive, not for himself, but for his sister. Can't you see it? In order to let his sister survive, he cut his wrist and bled to feed his sister. For such a sentimental and righteous man, I don't want him to repeat the same mistake and sacrifice his life for justice at some point in the future, and his sister is the only soft spot in his heart. I'm sorry, Xiao Yao, I wronged you. Actually, there is also a part of the reason. I don't want Xiaobinghe to die in the future. I need to take Xiao, a burden, with me, which will affect some of the things we do as husband and wife. Then take his sister in as well. In fact, I think that sister is also very attractive, a typical little lolly. Lolly has 3 good qualities: soft voice, gentle body and easy to be pushed down. What, doesn't your husband want it? This. Xiao Yao paused for a moment, and felt a murderous gaze shooting at him. He quickly added, wife, don't say such things in the future. Even if there are 3,000 rivers, I will only take this bowl of drink from you, Xinru. You are enough. Well, you passed the test, otherwise my 40-meter long sword would have almost fallen down. Fuck. Xiao Yao touched his forehead, a drop of cold sweat broke out. Xinru was actually testing me. Fortunately, I reacted quickly, otherwise this 40-meter long sword would not be a joke. Chapter 273 Servant Set. Having passed Xinru's test without any danger, and now there were no outsiders, Xiao Yao lay decadently on the chair. He had just forced himself to sit up straight, but it was very strenuous. After all, he was in a weak state now, and his body had become his biggest burden, making even the most basic actions very difficult. Xiao Yao wanted to find a bed and sleep for 24 hours, but now in his weak state, he couldn't walk out of the bunker at all. If he asked Xinru or his 2 servants to carry him, wouldn't it let them know that he now needed someone to support him to walk, and there was no guarantee that they wouldn't rebel. Even if Xinru held a pistol, it would not have any deterrent effect. For now, the only way was to play the empty city plan, Stay here and not go anywhere, and retreat. Knock, knock, knock. Come in. Sir. Well, where's your brother? Did he run away? My lord, my brother is fine now. I heard that he can stay here without being a slave. He's not leaving now. He's outside. I'll ask my brother to apologize to your lord. No need to apologize. You just take charge of guarding the entrance of the bunker. Report to me immediately if there is any situation. By the way, this is a slave suit. I'll give you one. Slave suit. Well, change into it. Shaji put on the slave suit, an exquisite one. Shaji held the exquisite wooden stick in his hand with a look of disgust on his face. My lord, I want to continue holding the fire axe, but this stick is useless. Okay, you use the fire axe to cut off the stick. Yes, sir. In order to prevent the flying debris of the stick from hitting Xiao Yao, Shaji deliberately put the stick in the corner of the wall, then raised the fire axe in his hand and chopped at the stick. Bang! With a loud noise, the wooden stick was chopped off. Shaji didn't dare to open his eyes. After a few seconds, Shaji opened his eyes and found that the wooden stick on the ground just flew out and hit the wall, but was not chopped into pieces. Could it be that he missed it just now? Shaji walked forward, took the wooden stick back and put it in place, spit twice, wiped it on the palm of his hand, swung the fire axe and was about to chop the wooden stick again. Wait. I'm sorry, sir, I missed it just now. Look at your fire axe. Fire axe? What's wrong with the fire axe? Shaji picked up his fire axe. Suddenly, Shaji was so shocked that he couldn't speak. This. He saw a huge gap on the axe head of the fire axe. Now, do you still look down on this wooden stick? Sir, this is impossible. This wooden stick is made of wood. How can it possibly break a gap in a metal fire axe? This is not scientific. For me, there are many things that science cannot explain. In the future, you will be more shocked. Thank you for the reward, sir. Shaji will definitely live up to your kindness. Get up. Remember not to let others know about the servant's suit. You should know that wealth should not be revealed to others. Otherwise, your wooden stick will become a hot potato. Yes, sir, I understand. Go out and see if Xiaobinghe is back. There has been no movement for such a long time. He won't run away, right? Sir, I'll go out and check. Wait. Sir, do you have any other instructions? Arrange those people to drag the bodies on the ground out and mop the floor clean. Sir, although we still have a lot of water, isn't it a bit of a waste to use it to mop the floor? Huh? Shaji was not on the roll at all. He had to express his opinion on every command. Xiao Yao glared at him. Sir, I know I was wrong. I will arrange it right away. Seeing Xiao Yao's cold eyes, Shaji knew that he had said too much and hurriedly lowered his head to admit his mistake. The sir in front of him was the werewolf who killed Xiao Liuzi in seconds. Xiao Liuzi was their former leader. Now that Xiao Liuzi is dead, Shaji, has a chance to shine. Yet, after Shaji left the door, Xiao Yao said to Xinru beside him, help me, go sit in the corner, and I'll move to another place after they mop the floor, or I'll be exposed. Honey, is it really okay? I'm afraid they'll find out. Stay calm, okay? You have a gun in your hand, it's no problem to kill these people. But, honey, I'm afraid, I've never fired a gun, can I hit them? It doesn't matter whether I hide or not, the main purpose is to deter. No one will be willing to be the first person to be shot. Honey. Stop talking, they're coming. The chair was moved to the corner by Xinru, and Xiao Yao sat there alone, drinking red ginseng soup quietly. There were several bottles of red ginseng soup on the table at this time. Anyway, he and Xinru both had school bags on their backs, so they wouldn't arouse their suspicion. Hello, sir. Several people bent down to greet Xiao Yao, and Xiao Yao just drank the red ginseng soup quietly. Nodding also requires strength, okay. After a while, several people gathered, including Xiaobinghe. It seemed that Xiaobinghe's complexion had improved a lot, and it seemed that his sister should be fine. The 6 people quickly cleaned the ground and mopped it. They didn't care about using a lot of water. The water was a large barrel of mineral water. It seemed that the reserve here was quite sufficient. Well, you all go out, Xiaobinghe stays. My lord, you called me. This is a servant suit, you change into it. Yes, my lord. Xiaobinghe changed into the servant suit directly, picked up the exquisite wooden stick, and quietly waited for Xiao Yao's next order. "How is your sister?" "My lord, my sister is fine, she is still eating food outside." "Well, you go out too, I'm tired, you go to guard the entrance of this room, I want to retreat for a day, no one is allowed to come in without my consent." "Yes, my lord." "Go." Xiao Yao watched Xiaobinghe leave the room, and Xiaobinghe closed the door. In the dim room, only Xiao Yao and Yi Xinru were left, and there was a torch that was about to go out. This was the underground level, and if the torch went out, the place would fall into darkness again. "Xinru, go ask them for some candles." "How come there are no candles in the gas station or convenience store?" "Well, I'll go ask." In the dim torchlight, Xiao Yao dozed off on a chair. He hadn't had a good rest for a long time. He was very tense all day, but suddenly he calmed down and fell asleep quickly. In his dream, Xiao Yao finally found his sister. When he hugged his sister opened her bloody mouth and ate Xiao Yao's head in one bite. "Huh?" Xiao Yao woke up suddenly, his whole body soaked with sweat. There was a lit candle on the table next to him. Yi Xinru was eating food next to the table. She was scared by her own voice and looked at herself blankly. "Hubby, what's wrong with you? Did you have a nightmare?" "Yes, I had a nightmare. I dreamed that my sister wanted to eat me." "Hubby, don't think about it. Dreams are the opposite. It means my sister is still alive." "I hope so." Xiao Yao stared at the candle flame, looking at it in a trance. "Sister, are you okay?" On the other side of the bunker, several lackeys gathered together, as if discussing something. "Kye, are you really willing to be the fat guy's lackey?" "I don't want to do that at all." "That's right, I don't want to do that at all. In fact, I supported you, Kye, to be the boss before, but the station master has a gun in his hand, so it's not easy for us to support you openly. What's the use now? Doesn't the fat guy still have a gun in his hand?" "That's different. Have you noticed that this fat guy hasn't moved for a long time and has been sitting on the chair all the time?" "Really? Now that you put it that way, it seems to be the case. Could it be?" "Yes, although this fat guy killed my grandmother, he is probably seriously injured." What if this fat guy is not injured?" "He is probably seriously injured, otherwise why did he tell us that he would be in seclusion for a day?" "Yes, I also find it strange to be in seclusion for a day." "Kye, your pants have been taken off, can you really swallow this breath? We really feel unfair for you." "Yes, a scholar can be killed but not humiliated. This is too humiliating. He has a gun in his hand, what can we do?" "How many bullets are left in the pistol?" "That's easy to say. No matter how many bullets there are, there will be a big hole in your body. You take the lead." No, we have other helpers now." "Helpers? Remember the group of zombies locked up in the backyard?" "What do you mean? Even if the fat guy has a gun and can kill one zombie at a time, how many zombies can he kill? As long as the group of zombies is released, I guarantee that the fat guy will be bitten to pieces without a bone left." "But, won't this bunker be useless? Instead of living a miserable life under someone else's crotch, it's better to fight to the death." "Kye, didn't you say you were going to the Ministry of Military Affairs in the west of the city?" "We will go with you." "Yes, we will go with you. Kye, make a decision. When we get to the Ministry of Military Affairs, we still hope to follow you." "Yes, Kye. Don't say any more. Let me think about it." Kye fell into deep thought for a moment. It was true that he escaped, but the Military Affairs Department in the west of the city was just something he made up. The Military Affairs Department was on the top of a mountain in the northeast, which was even farther away from here. However, when he thought about how Xiao Yao made him take off his pants in public, he was identified Ye and his cousin was the deputy director of the Ye department, yet they were forced to take off all their clothes. A gentleman could be killed but not humiliated. So he did it. Chapter 274, Each has his own secret intentions. Kye, Huangmeo and another tall and thin man slowly walked towards the room where Xiao Yao was staying in the bunker. "Stop. What are you doing?" Shaji, who was guarding the door of Xiao Yao, stopped the three people. "Isn't it already night? I think the master must be hungry. Let's send food to the master." "Yes, you can see that these are all foods we carefully selected. Give it to me, I'll take it to the master." "Brother Shaji, we also want to show our faces in front of the master. You can't take all the good things." "Yes, let us do something for the master, Otherwise it seems that we are useless. Hurry up, don't blame me for being rude if you don't leave. The master has instructed that the master will be in seclusion for a day. Don't disturb the master no matter what. Have you forgotten it? Shaji raised the exquisite wooden stick in his hand. This wooden stick is a magical weapon that can break a fire axe. Shaji held it in his hand and became much braver. Well, then I'll have to trouble Brother Shaji to pass on the food to the adults. You must say that we delivered it personally. Okay, got it. Go back and don't lock the door. Several people went back angrily. Kye, I told you, this fat guy must have been seriously injured, otherwise how could he let Shaji guard the door and not let others in? Kye touched his chin, looking thoughtful. Have a good rest tonight, and we will take action early tomorrow morning. Okay, Boss K, we've been waiting for you to say this. SHH, don't make a sound, so as not to alert the enemy. Boss K, we understand. Well, let's go. Let's go back and eat and have a good sleep, so that we can do things when we are fully rested. Then Boss K, what about the two brothers Shaji and the two siblings Xiaobinghe? Don't worry about them. They are all Xiao Yao slaves now. We are afraid that they are not on the same boat with us. We must not let the news leak out. Otherwise, Xiao Yao will be prepared and it will be difficult to cause serious damage to him. As for the life and death of these people, it depends on their luck at that time. It's a pity for this little sister Xiao Yu. It's not easy to find a little sister of this quality. Bang! Kye hit Wang Ye on the top of his head with a slap. Those who accomplish great things don't care about trivial matters. We can't let a woman ruin the whole thing. When the time comes, if there is a chance, you will go to save Xiao Yu. A hero saving a beauty can easily make a woman commit herself to you. Boss K, is that true? But we have to lure the zombies here. They don't have time to hate us, so how can they be grateful to us? Who said that we lure the zombies here? The zombies came by themselves. Is that not possible? Boss K, can this be done? Just wait and see. If you do it well, Xiao Yu will definitely throw herself into your arms. Really? The yellow-haired man was already drooling with excitement. Kye promised to Wang Meo with a smile on his face, but he had already cursed him countless times in his heart. Are you worthy of having a little lolly like Xiao Yu? Only someone as smart and brave as me is worthy of having one. Several people have their own ulterior motives, and it is not certain who is scheming against whom. In another room, Xiao Yu was still tearing a book angrily, and the floor was already covered with scraps of paper. Xiaobinghe came back and saw that his sister was still angry. He shook his head and said, "Sister, are you still angry? Huh? Who needs that fat guy to take care of me? He doesn't even want to pay me a dime for his care. Did I tell him to take care of me? I don't need it. Even if I die outside and get bitten to death by zombies after leaving this bunker, I won't ask that fat guy for a word. Oh, my silly sister, this adult is really good to his brothers and sisters. He is afraid that I will entrust you to him. It's not because he is afraid of trouble, but because he is afraid that I will not care about life and death. He wants to dispel my mentality of entrusting you to him, mainly to make me cherish my own life. This adult is a good person. However, he made a mistake. It is because of what he said to me that I really feel at ease with him. Even if I really die, he will definitely take good care of you for me, and not be as heartless as he said. Brother, I don't allow you to say anything about death anymore. I don't allow you to say that if you die, I will never live alone. No one else can take care of me. I only want you, my brother, to take care of me. Silly sister, you are already 18 years old. You can't always follow your brother. I will find you a sister-in-law in the future. Do you want to live with your brother and sister-in-law forever? You are 18 and it's time to find someone to rely on. You should have your own family in your own life. You can't always live in your brother's world. No, I will follow you and follow you for the rest of my life. I won't find a man and I won't find one in this life. Does your brother start to dislike your sister for being a nuisance? Does he dislike your sister for delaying your brother from finding a sister-in-law? If that's the case, then your sister will get out of this bunker immediately and let the zombies bite her to death. Hey, how could your brother dislike you? You are the last relative he has in this world. Okay, I won't mention it anymore. I will support you for the rest of my life, okay? Well, brother, you are not allowed to regret it. You must support me for the rest of my life. No regrets. Xiaobinghe touched Xiao Yu's hair lovingly. Silly girl, when you meet someone you like, you will definitely leave your brother. The food stored in the bunker is sufficient, but because the station master is dead, several powerful younger brothers, Xiao Liuzi and Xiaoba, are also dead. Originally, according to the order, this Kai should be the new boss, but Master Xiao Yao got the upper hand. Of course, if these people had not dealt with Master Xiao Yao, I am afraid they would not be dead now. The new Master Xiao Yao did not arrange anyone to manage the food reserves, so now the food is in a situation where whoever likes to eat can eat it. Xia Binghe saw that Kai and his group moved a pile of food to the room where the station master used to live. Just now, these people seemed to be outside, because they had already tacitly agreed that the station master's room must be for the new Master Xiao Yao to live in, but now, they actually entered the room privately. No, I have to report to the adults. Sister, wait for me here, I'll be back soon. Xia Binghe came to the door where Xiao Yao was. Shaji was guarding the door at this time, and Shaji's younger brother was not far away from Shaji. Shaji, I have something to report to the adults. The adults have instructed that you should not disturb the adults in seclusion no matter what happens. Shaji, I really have something to do. Did you notice? Wang Mao and the others were outside just now. We all thought that the station master was dead, and his room should belong to our adults. But now, you see, Wang Mao and the others actually moved in. Do you think we should report this to the adults? Shaji had discovered this problem a long time ago. After all, the room outside was not that big. Wang Mao and the others moved a lot of food to the station master's room, and then closed the door and did not come out. Shaji saw it all. I've said this much. It's up to you whether to report or not. I always feel that these people are not very honest. You can ask the adults to pay more attention to them. Okay, I get it. You can go back. You still have a sister to take care of. Don't leave your sister alone for too long. Okay, Shaji, then I'll go back first. Yes. Shaji frowned and glanced at the former station master's office. At this time, the room was closed, and Kai and Huang Mao and the other three could not be seen. Shaji turned around. The adults said that no matter what, don't disturb him in seclusion. But the gatekeeper kept disturbing the adults. Forget it, if you can't beat him, you can beat him. Shaji stretched out his hand and knocked on the door behind him. Knock, knock. Chapter 275 Undercurrent. Come in. Xiao Yao's impatient voice came from the room. Shaji gently pushed open the door and entered the room. My lord. What's the matter? Didn't I tell you not to disturb me no matter what? My lord, it's like this. Xia Binghe just came to report a situation. Kai Huang Mao and several others occupied the old station master's room. So what? What's there to report? My lord, this room should be your place now. They were outside before they came to deliver food. After delivering the food, they went straight back to the old station master's room and stayed at home. I guess they may have some conspiracy. I know. Then you should pay more attention. Go out. Don't bother me unless the sky falls. Yes, my lord. Shaji retreated. Husband, what do you think? I'll sit and watch. What else can I watch? I don't have the energy to care about those lackeys now. Let's talk about everything tomorrow night. Husband, I'm worried that they will do something weird. Xinru, don't worry about it. There are only 3 of them. We plus 2 slaves make 4 people, not to mention the sister and brother who are tied up with the slaves. There are 6 of us in total. They are half of our number. What's there to be afraid of? Well, if the sky falls, I have your husband to hold it up. I will just eat and drink well. Be good, I have checked the food. There is no problem. You can eat as much as you want. Xiao Yao pointed at the food that had just been delivered to the table. He said that it was the food carefully selected by Kai Huang Mao and others. However, one must be on guard against others. Xiao Yao specially used the reconnaissance skills to check all the food. It was indeed non-toxic. Come to think of it, there was a thick fog of doomsday virus outside, and they had no chance to find poison to harm themselves. Shaji said that they moved into the old station master's room after delivering the food. Could it be that they discovered something? Unfortunately, his body was not fit for action. Even simple walking was very difficult. He had to rest. Xiao Yao took out the Yamen pistol and the old station master's inferior pistol. He took off the magazine and found that the bullets of the 2 pistols were interchangeable. He counted the number of bullets and found that there were 25 bullets left. Xiao Yao took out 10 bullets and put them in the Yamen pistol, and the other 15 bullets in the inferior pistol. Xinru, you should use this Yamen pistol for self-defense in the future. This is the safety. You should turn off the safety at ordinary times to avoid accidental discharge and injury to yourself. Even if 10 bullets can't kill people, they can at least injure them. With the 15 bullets in his inferior pistol, even if he has no attributes now, it is still no problem to subdue these 3 people. They can't make any waves. Okay, husband, Xinru put away the Yamen pistol. No matter how good the martial arts are, they are afraid of kitchen knives. The kitchen knives can knock them down with one shot. With 2 pistols, Xiao Yao felt more at ease. They were just 3 small minions, not to be feared. Xinru, go to bed early after dinner. I'm tired tonight, so I'll go to bed first. By the way, go and lock the door. Well, husband, if you are tired, go and rest first. Xinru looked at Xiao Yao and squinted her eyes after giving him instructions. She didn't bother Xiao Yao anymore and quietly locked the door. Behind the door, someone could be heard whispering, "Brother, are you really willing to be a slave to this outsider? What are you thinking? We 2 brothers can go anywhere together." Balin, this person is not simple. Did you see the stick in my hand? What's so good about a broken stick? It's not as sharp as the fire axe in my hand. Balin, come here. Shaji whispered in Balin's ear, do you believe that this stick can easily break the axe head of the fire axe? Brother, are you stupid? Can wood be stronger than iron? I knew you wouldn't believe it. What do you see? Shaji took out a broken fire axe. A fire axe? How come there is a crack on it? Brother, what did you chop? I was chopping this wooden stick. This is impossible. I had the same expression as you at that time. Later, I secretly tried it again, and it turned out that the wooden stick is indeed stronger than the fire axe. This is not scientific. Sometimes, some things cannot be explained by science. Brother, do you still have this stick? Can you get one for your brother? This stick is part of the slave suit. From the name, you can tell that you have to be a slave before the adults will give it to you. Didn't you see that Xiaobinghe also has the same suit as me? But his sister doesn't. Slave suit. Yes, that's what the adults said. I saw that the adults also gave Kaye, Huangmeo and a few others a t-shirt and a pair of shoes, but not my headband and stick. It seems that you can still have the clothes. I will get you one tomorrow. Brother, do you mean Kaye, Huangmeo and the others also have them? Well, they only have clothes, not the wooden stick in my brother's hand and the headband on his head. Only Xiaobinghe and I have the wooden stick and headband. Brother, you said the wooden stick is so magical, then will the headband and clothes be extraordinary too? You make sense. Shaji took off the headband and studied it carefully for a long time. He found that there was nothing different at all. It could be cut into pieces with a fire axe, and he also cut the clothes with a knife a few times, which also made gaps. This seems to be just an ordinary headband and clothes. Poor Shaji, the durability of the headband and clothes was consumed by 50 points in just a few strokes. It seems that only this wooden stick is extraordinary. Brother, does the master still accept slaves? At that time, I asked you to be a slave, but you refused to be one. Now if you go to be one, the master may not want you anymore. Then what should I do? Brother, I also want this kind of wooden stick. Wait until tomorrow, I will ask the master for you. You have to behave better, understand? I know, brother, I will be the master's slave tomorrow even if I have to break my head like Xiaobinghe. That's not the case. Anyway, don't make the master dislike you. But, brother, there is one thing I don't understand. What is it? Sir, you only brought 2 school bags when you came, plus the things of Kaye Huangmeo Xiaobinghe and your brother. It seems that there is no room at all. Moreover, I saw that the master also brought a lot of drinks that are not from our place. Can their school bags hold so many things? This, now that you mention it, it seems to be the case. Brother, do you think the master has a space ring or something like that? How is this possible? This is not a myth. But brother, if zombies can appear, why can't myths appear? Don't you find it strange? These things put together far exceed the storage limit of 2 school bags. Moreover, the length of this wooden stick alone is too long for 1 school bag to hold. Don't say any more. Don't talk about this again. Don't talk about it with anyone else, otherwise you'll be doomed if the adults find out. I know, brother, I'm not a fool. Xinru quietly returned to the chair, looked at the sleeping Xiao Yao and didn't wake him up. She just took out a pistol. "Hubby, you have a good rest. Tonight, I'm here and no one can hurt you." End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.